Hello, everybody, and welcome to the cool what? Just kidding. Pod What Happens Live. This is our new look, our new face. We are back. I am your host, Katie. I am with my wonderful co-host, Kari. We're switching up roles a little bit. We have a new face. We have a new name. Same vibes, same hosts, same everything else. Still here with Silent Podcast. We're anything but silent. What's going on? How are you?
Hi, I'm back from, I don't know, self-imposed seclusion. So I have, over my last however many months, caught up on a lot of Bravo stuff. I also am working like 2.75 jobs, maybe more for a while. I'm kind of now down to like 2.14 jobs. And
Okay, that's a fair amount of jobs.
yeah. It's more than enough. Definitely more than enough. But now I'm able to fit a weekly Bravo podcast in because now that I'm caught up on things like Vanderpump Rules, Below Deck, all the Housewives, I'm working on Summer House. Like, I just need
You're
somewhere
deeper in than
to
me
talk.
right now, actually.
You know, it's a bit of a hyper fixation at this point. I'm just ready to conquer Bravo. I want to be Andy Cohen. I want to get drunk on New Year's Eve with Anderson Cooper, and I don't think that's that much to ask.
I don't think it's that much to ask either, especially because I don't think they're allowed to get drunk. Well, I guess that makes it more to ask because they're not allowed to do it anymore, but whatever. You'll figure it out.
Andy Cohen say in an interview on Chicks in the Office where he's like, what are they going to do? Pull me off air? I'm drinking this New Year.
I mean, it's true. What are they really going to do? I'm actually shocked that they adhered to it this year.
It's Ron Seacrest's fault.
I know. I believe it. I believe it. But we're here, and just to give everybody an idea of what we're thinking, you know, obviously we've been a little bit on a hiatus. Kari's been, I don't like the phrase girl bossing, but you've been girl bossing across the woman bossing.
I wish
just
I landed
bossing
on the
in
sun
general.
Some of these times, though. Like, I didn't want to be close to the sun. Just put me on the fucking sun. Many days over these last few months where I'm like, a one-way ticket to the sun right now sounds phenomenal.
I've thought that many times myself as well. So we decided now that we're back, we rebranded a little bit. Like we said, new name, new look. And now that Kari's deep in, we're going to be talking all things Bravo. Previously, the Cool Water Show was only Housewives. Now we're going to cover Vanderpump. We're going to cover Summer House. We're going to cover Below Deck. We're going to cover maybe Dancing Queens?
Whatever.
Dance Moms 2.0?
Song
yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I would sing, but we don't need a copyright infringement because these vocals are top notch.
We might already get a copyright infringement with this new name from Andy Cohen himself, but we'll see. Who knows? We're going with it until we hear otherwise.
Send me a cease and desist, Andy.
Yeah, assist and deceased, as Tamara Barney at the time would say. So let's get into it. We have a lot to catch up on. We're going to start with Vanderpump Rules because that's what everybody cares about in the world. So obviously we're going to have to start there. We have no notes, just a list of things we're going to talk about. So it's all vibes, as everybody probably knows by now. That's kind of how we've been doing it lately. Where to begin? I mean, what are your thoughts on part 1 of the reunion? Part 2 is tomorrow, so we're like a little late, but not really. What are your thoughts? Tell me everything.
I was just so entertained by James Kennedy and Lala throughout that reunion. They reminded me, and I thought this before I saw the tweet about it, of like those two old men from the Muppets up in the balcony just talking shit. They're funny. But no, I think for that reunion, we're laying a foundation, and I think Lisa Vanderpump kind of made it known, like, Lala, it is really early for you to be bringing it to a 10. And everyone else is like, no, we're starting at 10. Like, this is only going higher. Lisa, either like buck up or get the fuck out the way.
I mean, you know, Lisa Vanderpump is my number one housewife of all time. She's my favorite. I'm a little bit worried about the trajectory Miss Vanderpump is on because, like, do you want to be on the right side of history or do you want to be on the wrong side of history? Because you're really on the wrong side right now with how you're standing up for these two Toms. Not only the one Tom, but both Toms are just like some of the worst dudes that I feel like I've ever seen on reality television. Are they worse than Jax?
Mm, possibly. I think Tom Sandoval is worse than Jax.
Mm,
And then I think it's up for debate if Schwartz is worse than Jax. But I haven't listened to any podcasts, but
hmm.
my TikTok is just clips of podcasts at this point.
Yeah.
Vanderpump, which like I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
It makes it a lot easier than having to listen to everything. Uh, and Jack's just saying like, I always took accountability for what I did. Like I always owned up to being a piece of shit, and Sandoval does not. And I think that's like the clear distinction between the two of them.
Yeah. I think so too. I don't feel like Jax ever took a moral high ground or like pretended to have the moral high ground, where I feel like Sandoval's permanent residence is at the moral high ground street, moral high ground mansion on moral high ground street in moral high ground, California.
Maybe they'll repurpose, was it Villa Rosa? Then I heard that Lisa sold her house, and maybe that's where Sandoval will build his just empire of morality.
It is already a glass house.
Let's throw stones.
Yeah, so maybe someone should start throwing some stones. You can move in and what is your vibe? Like, are you over the scandal of it all? Are you still in?
Oh,
like,
absolutely fucking not. I'm not over it yet. And here's why. I am the horse, and there is a carrot in front of me, and that carrot is this big reveal in episode 3 of the reunion. And no, I have read every single fucking theory. Because here's the thing, I have never been one to like. I'm not good at reading between the lines in terms of like this and this has happened or whatever. But once someone presents me with an idea, I am pretty good at then like, all right, let me think about this thoroughly. And that's where I'm at because I've seen so many ideas. And so, no, I'm not going to be over it until I know what is being referenced in this big secret in episode 3 of the reunion. I've never really been one for 3-part reunions. I think they're too long. And so I don't necessarily think that this Vanderpump reunion is going to be too long for me, but it's just too long of a time between waiting. Because the other thing is like I binged all of last season and this season, and I caught up so that I could watch the finale like when it aired. So I had the pleasure of watching this season from the perspective of, oh, I know when supposedly Raquel and Tom like start fucking around, and having that insight. It's like spoilers. Like I love them.
Yeah.
So it was like having a spoiler on the season watching it. And so now having to wait a week between episodes,
I know,
is killing me. But no, I'm not over it. I need to know the secret. I need to know.
I agree with you. I'm dying to know what the secret is, but I feel like we're just setting ourselves up for disappointment here because they're building it up to be something so big. And I don't know if the clip of Ariana on, I think it was the Call Her Daddy podcast, I believe.
I watched the whole, that's the only podcast.
Yes, I watched the whole thing.
Of.
Yes. So she was like, I'm pretty sure I know what it is. And maybe she doesn't, but I mean, she didn't seem to be like shaken by whatever it is that she thought it is. So that's why I'm like, I don't know. Sheena already shut down the rumor that they're moving the show to Vegas. She already said that that's not true. Lisa Vanderpump has said publicly on Twitter that she did not know about the affair, which is another rumor. So what do you think? Do you have a theory that's your favorite?
So, I mean, it has to come from one of the 3 sit-down interviews.
I'm assuming it's coming from Rachel.
Right. Because, I mean, I feel like regardless of everything that's gone down, like, she isn't a liar. I know that she, like, was hiding this, but, like, it seems like everything she's said since it's been revealed, which hasn't been a ton, but like has been pretty blunt and factual. Like immediately she told Sheena, yeah, I've been fucking around with him for the last 7 months or whatever. Like she didn't try to deny it, anything. So it has to come from her. So I don't know. I'd seen a theory that like Sheena knows or knew about it, and that's going to people to not want to film with her. But
That
Here's why
doesn't
I
seem
don't.
like world shattering because they could very easily just give Sheena the boot.
Yeah, they could. I don't think they would, but here's why I don't think that's true though is I saw stuff on Instagram um this weekend of Sheena's kid has Instagram, I guess. I don't know, but
Oh
like
my God.
Ariana was with them this weekend and Lala knows the secret. Lala has said
Yes.
that a producer told her and she's sworn to secrecy, but I don't think there's any way that Lala would then like allow Ariana to be fucking around with Sheena's kid.
And I
If
don't think
it was
Lala would
that.
be fucking around with Sheena the way that she still
Right.
is if
Right.
that were the case.
Right. So I don't think it's that. Um I have heard that there's people who like went to eat at Schwartz and Sandy's and the serving staff said like
Mm-hmm.
be ready to be filmed so that there might be like a spin-off for them.
I
Do you
cannot
think that's it?
imagine. I don't think that's the secret, but if they are coming and giving us a Schwartz and Sandy's spinoff, all I want to say is please read the room because nobody wants
Who's
this.
watching that?
They are public enemy number 1 and 2, and nobody wants to celebrate these dudes. If anything,
Yeah.
give us a something about her spinoff.
Yeah.
That
Can't
would
wait
be
for
the
my
one thing.
sweatshirt to get here.
Yeah, I know I have
I've
to
been
pick one.
I've been buying so much dumb shit lately, but that's not dumb. I can't wait to wear
No,
it.
no. Then there's nothing wrong with a little retail therapy.
No, not at all. Says the
My
pair of
favorite form of therapy.
Nike Air Maxes that just got here today. I'm so excited to wear them.
I'm
They're
excited
nice.
for you. I'm excited
Thanks.
for you.
I needed shoes for the Taylor Swift concert that were
Mm.
comfortable. And if I was between buying black Crocs because why not get another pair of Crocs?
Oh, another pair of Crocs.
Oh, I have too many pairs. I have probably
Okay.
like 4. But they're
Okay.
not all like Crocs. 2 are Crocs. One's a pair of slides. Oh, I think
Oh,
I got
okay.
rid of the other ones, so I'm down to 3. But anyway,
Okay.
I digress. I was like, no, I'm gonna get some like sneakers that I can wear out. And so
Yeah.
I got the Nike Air Maxes. But anyway, I don't know. I honestly for a while I thought the secret was Lisa knew.
I mentally was prepared for that to be the secret, but I also was not mentally prepared to have to immediately hate Lisa when I've been riding for
Mhm.
her for a decade. So I'm happy that she came out and said she didn't. I hope that she doesn't prove me
Do you
wrong
believe
because
it?
I just can't imagine she would come out on Twitter and say absolutely not. I was one of the last people to find out. I found out when production found out. Like production didn't know. I can't imagine making a bold statement like that and that being a lie.
But Ariana and Lala unfollowed her on Instagram recently.
Well, Ariana said that they never followed each other.
Oh, but you go to presidential dinners to get that's weird.
I know it's a little weird. It's a little
I don't know
weird.
if I believe that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm really not. I could see it being that still. I think I've heard the rumor that the affair started while Rachel was engaged to James. Which,
See, I don't think it's that one because like who cares? They've already like
well, that's the thing is why I don't think that's earth shattering, but I do feel
yeah.
like it's totally possible that that's the case.
I mean, anything at this point will get James to blow up, but like I don't think that James blowing up is necessarily like, oh my God, we need to put contracts and filming on hold
Right.
till
Right.
everybody sees this
Right.
like worthy. That's just like every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern for James.
Right. Exactly. Or I also heard the rumor that Rachel and Schwartz actually had sex instead of only made out that one time, which again, like everybody already is mad at Schwartz. Everybody already hates Rachel. I just don't know why we would care that much about it. Other than it's like, okay, well, Katie's not filming with Schwartz anymore. Katie's going to completely be done with Schwartz, which again, like, does it matter? Do we care?
No, I don't know what else it could be. I
Or
just
that
also don't see
Rachel's
like,
pregnant.
do you think that's it?
No, I don't think that's it.
Because I feel like that's been said that it's not true.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I hope it's like none of these because then what other, like, I want something out of left field that's just gonna shatter everybody,
Yeah.
to be
No, me
honest.
too.
And
Me
not in a
too.
way like, I mean, that's fucked up to say that I want these people's, like, lives to be ruined, but I only say that
But like we
because
kind of do.
you
That's what we're here
I
for.
we were told that, like, "No, no, 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 something big is coming. We need
Right.
to everything is on
Well,
pause."
and also, let us not forget that there's really nobody that we can root for on this show. I know we're all Team Ariana right now, but I'm going through a slow rewatch. And Ariana was kind of insufferable in the early seasons when she first joined. So,
Mhm.
and I think that she was very much at fault in terms of like making Kristen turn into the complete, like unhinged version of Kristen that we saw on the show. I know they're friends now. I know it's like water under the bridge, but like the amount of, and I know you hate the words gaslighting but they were really truly gaslighting Kristen back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
No, they're very
Ariana was a huge part of that. And then
Mhm.
she was just so smug about the whole thing where I'm kind of like, I mean, look at this dude that you chose. Not that I'm
Yeah.
saying you deserve it. Obviously, you don't. The hope was that he wasn't as much of a shithead as we all thought that he was. But he was. And she seems to have grown a lot as a person. So I am definitely rooting for her. But like everybody on the show is kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
So do we really care that much if when your
Or
life
you
falls apart, like Ariana's life is falling apart, she's making money hand over fist.
Oh, I
This is
know.
the
This
best
has
thing that's
been
ever happened to her.
one of the financially, like, best things that
I
could
heard she's
happen
made $1
to her.
million or something
Yeah.
since, yeah,
Yeah.
which is amazing.
Can you believe that they've, like, shared this house together?
No, I can't.
Oh, did my headphones just die? I think they did, but I'm
Uh
plugged in. I
oh.
mean, I can
Uh
still hear you. I think it's a low
oh.
battery thing, but that doesn't make sense. I'm plugged in. Uh, okay, interesting. Have to figure that one out.
Oh.
I have an idea. Um, yeah, I mean, if that's not a lesson in, like, only have one person's name on the house.
Yeah. Seriously. Seriously. Pretty rough stuff. What are your thoughts? I feel like there's a lot of divisive opinions on the internet about the Schwartz and Katie situation. Obviously, it seems like you're on Katie's side.
Yeah, I okay, let me backtrack for a second. When I watched Vanderpump Rules, it was a while ago. It was
Yeah.
what got me into Housewives, as you know.
Hmm.
So
The gateway
I
drug.
yeah, truly. And I watched the last season, this season very recently. So my memories of like Katie prior to
Hmm.
last season are very fuzzy, but I always was like very confused on the Katie like hate and slander.
Yeah.
And I think if anything, this season especially has kind of showcased there is a lot of fuel being added to this fire by both Toms especially.
Yep.
Um so yeah, I'm definitely team Katie. I don't think that it's that preposterous to ask like could you just not fuck around with people that we film with? And I
Right.
do think that she has less of a leg to stand on with the whole Joe thing. Like, well, she's like in the group by proxy, like you can 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon the
Yeah.
shit out of any of that, especially with someone who like I mean, if you think of, okay, well, she was at Summer House on the first episode. So is anyone from like Summer House
Right.
out of so that I agree with less, but it doesn't I mean, Schwartz is still Schwartz. And I'm
Yeah.
definitely in like the team Katie camp of it all. And I think that this season has been a bit of a redemption arc for her.
I think so too. And I think what people seem to really be missing for the people who are like, Katie can't say whatever, and it was just a kiss, is that they work together. They're on a show together. And what Katie, I believe, has said, and I think on podcasts, is that she didn't want to break the fourth wall, but she doesn't want this divorce to become a storyline for her and Schwartz about like Schwartz making out or doing something with someone on the cast. So now they have to like constantly address it, which I think is totally fair and respectful of their 12-year relationship. Like
Right.
anybody else, go ahead. The Joe stuff, I feel like I don't know that she said like, don't do anything with Joe, or is she just saying like, Joe is creepy or spooky or whatever she said?
In the reunion, when Joe came up, I maybe Andy asked like, "Well, what about Joe? Are you okay with Joe?" And she's like, "No, Joe's part of the group by proxy because she
Mm-hmm.
was Kristen's best friend." And then like when they started doing whatever together, she blocked Kristen. So she Katie did like take a stance against it and
Mm-hmm.
like has been making comments on Instagram and stuff about her, but
Yeah, I saw the Instagram comments. I feel, yes, I agree with you. I don't think she has much of a leg to stand on there. I want to know a lot more about this Joe person. I feel like we saw her in like a clip just like walk out or she was
with the
blurred or
dog.
something. Like, I want to know more. Give me more. Are they dating? Are they not dating? Did they just hook up a couple of times? Do they still live together? When did she know about the scandal of it all? Because they were going on trips and double dates together. Also, like Schwartz, I'm sorry, he knew. There's no way that he didn't know almost this entire time. Like he was a huge part of let's like villainization of is that a word? I don't even know. Of Ariana throughout this season of like making her the bad guy in the
Mhm.
relationship with Sandoval. And I'm just so happy that it's finally coming to a head for Schwartz. Like your nice goofy guy golden retriever attitude is we could see through it and it's just not going to work anymore.
No, he definitely knew. I think Sheena made the point kind of on the reunion when she asked like, "Did you know when we went glamping with the whole like Raquel's type is men who are taken and
Yep.
with BravoCon and saying like trust me, she wasn't there for me." And
Hmm.
I don't know if I necessarily think that like Schwartz was a cover up as much as like he knew. And so I don't like I think it's I don't know. I don't know if there's a line that I wanna draw. It didn't at least seem like we are intentionally like, "Hey, everybody, let's stand in a group, then on 3, like, walk away, so it's just Raquel and
Yeah.
Schwartz." Like, you know what I mean? Like, that type of
Yeah.
thing. So, I think he knew. I don't necessarily think that there was attempts at it being, like, the smoke and mirrors just because I don't think Sandoval's that smart, and neither is Schwartz to, like,
Right.
I think, like, if they were trying to do that, it would've been more transparent that, like,
Hmm.
shit was weird. I just think that I kind of believe that they fucked that one time, and then Sandoval was like, "Yeah, actually, Shorts, go for it," and then was like, "Just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm back in the camp of it all," and so, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what to believe. I really don't know what to believe. I don't really believe their timeline is the truth.
Well, I
I
mean, they
do
couldn't
think
even
it's been
agree on
going
a timeline.
right. But I think even the Sandoval Rachel timeline that they're saying is like, oh, 9 months or 7 months or whatever. I do feel like it's been going on longer than they're admitting to.
Mhm.
Which at this point, like, just admit it. But maybe,
Yeah.
who am I to say I'm just a random person watching them on TV? But I don't know. I guess we'll see what the revelation is.
I think the last thing that I have to say I have 2 things actually that I've thought of
Yes.
that I want to bring up about Vanderpump, and then I am good. First of all is I want to see more of the Sheena that we saw when she was confronting Sandoval because
Yes.
she was so upfront and, like, direct and cutting in a way where it wasn't,
Hmm.
like it didn't feel like it was for TV, it felt like, "No, you really did fuck over one of my best friends
Hmm.
while fucking her best friend and just fucking over our friendship entirely, just like, 'Fuck you,' and the horse
Yeah.
you came in on type of thing." It was just, like, very real. It wasn't it just it wasn't the Sheena we see a lot, and I really just appreciated how she approached that scene, and, um, I was very impressed by it.
I totally agree. I feel like she did such a good job of holding him accountable and calling out his bullshit excuses.
Mhm.
And it didn't feel like we really got to see other people doing that. Not that we saw many other interactions with him. Like, obviously, Schwartz was not going to do that. Obviously, Lisa is not going to do that. She's in business with them. Their names are plastered on her restaurant. Like, she's only going to go so far, I think. But like, Sheena is the perfect person. I feel like she's been on the show with him since season one. Like, they're friends for years. She's Ariana's best friend. She was Rachel's other best friend. Like, it just feels like she was the perfect person to be able to really take him to task, and she fucking nailed it.
Mhm. The other thing I wanna say, and like I've said, especially like days after episodes air, at least
Hmm.
50% of my TikTok timeline or
Oh
For You
yeah.
page is Sandoval or Scandival stuff. But I've only seen one TikTok of the many that I've watched, literally hundreds I've watched on this, giving Allie her credit because she
Oh
sniffed that
yeah.
shit out immediately.
Yes.
Immediately. And people are like, oh no, Allie was on it. So
Yep.
good for you, Allie. How do you feel about Allie just like as James's girlfriend
I'm glad you
and all this?
asked. I was going to actually ask you as well what your opinions on Allie are. I hate to admit this, but I'm a James Kennedy stan, and I have been for a long time. Not only this
I've
season,
known
I
that.
have, yes. And I know he's problematic. I know everybody in the show is problematic, but the guy makes me laugh. He can give a confessional like nobody else, and I just find him hilarious. And I apologize on behalf of anybody who's upset, on behalf of myself for anybody that's upsetting. But I think that so far I really like Allie. I think that she is a good match for James because she can stand on her own 2 feet and she can stick up for herself. And it seems like she has a backbone, where it seemed like Raquel at the time did not have any backbone with James whatsoever, other than like the stop drinking. But there have been so many rumors now about her sister bringing her to a show just to meet James, to get her on the show.
Yeah.
So it just feels like, it feels like Allie was maybe a little more organic, even though she did also meet him at a show where he was performing. So like that's a little, but I do feel like she, personality wise, is a much better match for him.
Yeah, I liked her. I never really had like any negatives to say. I liked that she called him on his shit with like
Yep.
the beach day and throwing the drink and
Yep.
again just kind of like sussing out the whole Scandival thing and from the get-go. So yeah, I like Allie. And I mean, assuming there's another season, are we getting another season? Is Allie gonna be like gonna have more of a presence? I'd be interesting to
I'm
see if
sure
that
she will,
happens.
because it seems like she's now getting friendly with the girls as well. Like
Yeah.
she's going out with them. I mean, obviously they came over to James's apartment. I love how James has become like one of the girls
Yeah.
now. That
Yeah.
is like maybe my favorite part of what's going on with James right now, is that like he went out with them to girls' night. He's on like
Him
the
and
side.
Katie getting along is phenomenal.
I am obsessed with him and Katie getting along. Like they are the duo that I didn't know that I needed, especially with all the history that they've had.
Yeah.
I love that he has her back. And they're
Yes.
kind of like in a little bit of a similar situation where, she's divorced from Schwartz. He was kind of involved in all this.
Mhm.
He was engaged to Raquel, no longer, but it does feel like he's kind of getting put off to the side. Obviously, Ariana is like the one that everybody is focusing on, but like
Mhm.
this is really shitty for what happened to James too
Yeah.
here. And I feel like they tried to address it at the reunion, and Lisa kind of like shut it down. And even Ariana was like, that was his, or I think Lala said like that was his
Yeah.
fiance. Like he has feelings too about this.
Yeah, I like that they're more than just like the enemy of my enemy is my friend type of
Yeah.
thing. That
Yeah.
they have seemed to genuinely stick up for each other throughout this entire season.
Hmm.
I've liked that. I do wish that I guess I have a third thing. I
Okay.
wanted more Charlie this season. I really
Me
liked her last
too. I
season.
like
I think
Charlie.
she's good. I think she's witty as fuck. I think
Yep.
she's upfront. I think she's funny. Like I wish we got more of her. It seems like her and Raquel are no longer friends, that she cut Raquel off mid-season. But
Yep.
I don't know if that affected like her friendship with Katie, what like how that's going. I don't know. I saw clips of her on the Nick Viall podcast,
Yeah.
but I wanted more Charlie. I was very disappointed that as this season progressed, we didn't get more of her because she was around a lot last season.
Yeah. And I don't remember if she was at the reunion last
She
season. I don't
wasn't.
know.
Oh, last season she was.
Last
This
season she
season
was. Okay.
she's not.
Yeah, I don't know why we didn't get her at the reunion this season. I don't know why it seemed like she was kind of cut out halfway through the season, but I do feel like she's a good presence on the show. Like you said, she's totally upfront. She's straight up. Like she tells it like it is. She holds people accountable. Why are we not getting more Charlie on the show? Like, who did she piss off?
Yeah, truly.
I don't know. Hopefully we get more of her next season, if she'll be back. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen next season? I have no idea. We just have to get
Who
through the
knows what's gonna
next
happen next
2
week?
weeks. Yeah. Well, tomorrow
I
and
mean,
next week.
tomorrow
Yeah.
and next week. I don't even know
Yeah.
what day it is anymore.
I know. All right. Anything else? Last thoughts on Vanderpump? before we move on to the event of the year?
No, I'm ready.
All right. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about that hair, the extravaganza of Teresa's wedding to Louis, and just New Jersey in general. What's your vibe? I know we haven't talked about anything this season actually with New Jersey. We've been off, I think, the whole season.
Were we? I can't remember if the one we did was like. I know we did talk about it early on because I remember being like, I'm fucking sick of this. Like, I'm sick of the storyline.
Yes.
Okay.
That was right in the beginning, I think, of the season, right?
Yeah. I'm going to bring it back to Vanderpump for a second because it's going to connect to New Jersey.
Okay.
Something that has made the last few weeks of Vanderpump, in addition to the reunions, I think such like must-see TV is we are openly addressing that we know of this this affair that happened.
Yep.
And so like it's incorporated in the editing, sometimes in a sly way, sometimes like obviously with the last episode that they came back and filmed in a very direct way. And I wish they took that route for this season of New Jersey because we knew before the season started that Melissa and Joe did not go to this wedding. And so for us to be like dragged along as viewers, like are they gonna go, are they not gonna go, to me just made this season seem like kind of a waste for a lot of the storyline because like we already
knew
know
where it
the
ended.
ending. Like it's not like going back and watching the fucking Titanic where we knew the ending. Like there was a lot more novelty to it all, where this has been 11 years of Teresa and Melissa and Joe and insert a husband or fiance like fighting back and forth. And it's just like, I know the Titanic was long, but this is a lot fucking longer.
A lot longer. Like 15 years longer.
Yeah, I just wish that Bravo gave us that same level of like respect as a viewer where like, okay, we know that you know that Melissa and Joe didn't go. So let's edit and frame this season from a perspective where like we acknowledge that you know this the whole time.
Yep. I agree with you. I think it would have been much more effective. The season was a little flat. I like the newbies. I don't really like Rachel, but I think she was like a good housewife, I guess. I don't really like her, but I mean, she like did what she needed to do for the most part. I mean, she was a little boring.
Rachel, this is how
the brown hair. Danielle is the blonde from Staten Island.
I know the blonde, brother. And then Rachel. Okay, because there was the other one
with the husband that has half of his face missing. No offense to that man, but like, where's your chin?
So Rachel's the one that wanted to adopt her like stepson. Got it. And then was there like another Jennifer? Is that like,
oh yeah, Jen Fessler.
She's
a friend of.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I watched a whole season and never figured out everyone's names. So good job, Kari.
Yeah. No, it's fine. I mean, you didn't really need to. I mean, they weren't. I guess they added something, but really the fundamental plot once again of the show was Melissa versus Teresa.
Get rid of one or both at this point.
Here's the thing. I agree, obviously. I mean, you know how I feel about Melissa Gorga. You know how I feel about the Gorgas in general. I'm a tree hugger at heart. I will defend her almost regardless of what happens. I mean, I have lines, you know, I think there are a lot of things that she does that are indefensible. But as a housewife on the show, she is the show. There would be no show right now if Teresa didn't continue on. She's the only OG left. Please let us learn from our mistakes. Please let us learn from our mistakes of Orange County. Please let us learn from our mistakes of what happened in New York when we got rid of Dorinda. Please let us learn from the mistakes of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills when Vanderpump was gone. And we had these 5 boring seasons in a row. And get rid of Melissa. She has no real storylines whatsoever. All of her storylines have been fake or they have to do with Teresa. Teresa is the one that brings content to the show. She gets people talking. She keeps it alive. Whether you love her or hate her, she is the show. She's the fundamental centerpiece of the show. And I'm worried that they're going to make the wrong decision here. And they're going to keep Melissa and we're going to have nothing. Because we kind of already have nothing.
I wonder, like, what becomes Teresa's storylines without Melissa? because, and I'm not saying like she needs Melissa's for
Mhm.
storylines, but Teresa has very much like worked on her like self peace and like
Yeah.
whatever fucking Zen Louis is buying from like a private investigator or whatever. I don't know, but um she does seem to be less involved in the drama,
Yeah.
except with the drama that she can't avoid with her family.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's, I guess, like my only question. Not saying like don't keep her, but I just wonder like it's been so many years of the
Right.
same thing that it's just hard to imagine what is happening, especially because she's not the same like seasons 1 through 4, 5 Teresa, where she's like fighting with a different Manzo every week, or Danielle
Mhm.
Straub or whatever the last name is. And like if you remove her point of conflict, I mean, given Margaret's still there and they don't really see eye to eye,
Don't even
but
get me started on Margaret.
I do have a question about Margaret, so I'll get you
Okay.
started in a
Okay.
second. So that's like, I guess my only question is, I just wonder, and like, I'm willing to take a season to see what happens. Like, remove Melissa. Let's see what Teresa is bringing to the show in her new like Zen yoga married to Louis state. I would love to see. I just am like, hmm. There's nothing like obvious right now except for Margaret, but I also don't
Yeah.
need that.
Oh, you froze a little bit.
I don't know.
So,
And you froze a little too. So
uh-oh.
I
Okay.
think
You
it's
also
probably
don't
me.
need
Oh, Margaret and
No,
Teresa's storyline again.
I need Margaret to never be on television again. I'm done with Margaret. I cannot, aside from Dorinda, think of a larger fall from grace
Do you see she
than
like
Margaret.
just got some court case? She has to pay like
Yep.
$165,000 for I can't remember what.
Yeah, something I don't remember what either, but I did see that. I agree with you. To go back to Teresa, I agree with you. I am a little, I would be a little bit concerned about what her storyline would be, but I do think Teresa has been one of the most authentic housewives that we've seen. She talks about almost everything that's going on in her life on the show, which we really have not seen from Joe and Melissa. I mean, we see the Teresa stuff, but every other storyline they've had has been the fake sister that the psychic found, spending a season trying to find the sister that doesn't exist. The I'm going to have another baby, except I'm not going to have another baby. The singing career. I mean, the only thing that was kind of real was Envy, but then they had that pizza place that like opened and then closed. It's just like everything feels really manufactured with them. Where Teresa, and I say this with love, I don't think she has the capacity to manufacture storylines. I really just truly don't. And I think people give her way too much credit by saying she's a manipulator. Like, I just don't think that she has the capacity mentally to be the manipulator that everybody says that she is.
I think while she might not have that capacity, I do think she has the capacity to like defend and protect. And I think that's what gets
Yes.
her in trouble more than anything. We saw
Yes.
that phone call where Louis called and was like, "Hey, this event, I invited everybody but Joe and Melissa." And
Yeah.
she's like, "We're filming right now."
Yeah.
And I think that she's loyal to a fault, which I mean, we saw with Joe that
Yep.
like it put her in prison. So I I do think that she will go above and beyond to defend, which gets her in trouble more so than I think that's like it can be confused for being manipulative, where
Yeah.
it's like, no, I'll lie for the person that I love so that
Mm-hmm,
you get
mm-hmm.
the fuck off of them. But I think it's more her version of loyalty
Yes,
and
I agree with you.
less manipulative for sure.
That I
I
agree
guess
with for sure.
the storyline for her would be the private investigator shit though, right? Like
And
I'm
it
very
seems
intrigued
like
to
there's a
see
lot of
that.
investigations happening into Louis' business. It seems like he's doing some lead generation, very similar to what Jen Shaw was
Oh
doing.
no.
So maybe we have a repeat of Teresa's past lives of now this new husband potentially. I don't know. I don't think it's anything criminal yet. I think it's like private investigators digging into Louis, but
Mhm.
that can only mean, he strikes me. I've gone back and forth on this man. I still don't know how I feel. I don't think that he's a lot of people compare him to Brooks. I don't compare him to Brooks. And I think it's because we actually see like his family, and his family seems like mostly normal. His kids seem normal. His
Mhm.
sisters seems mostly normal. His parents seem normal, although it is weird that he called his mom like, "Hey, you sexy thing," or whatever. That's fucking weird. put that with Nono's pajamas somewhere to dig into later. But I do think with Brooks, we never saw anybody from his family, and he was very obviously a con artist and was just like taking over Vicky's life, where I don't really feel like that's happening with Louis. Like we're seeing his life a little bit and his family and his kids, and you know, I don't know, but I don't think he's at that like scam level, but I definitely don't trust him very much at all. But
No,
give
there's
me Louis
definitely
versus Joe Gorga, and I'll put my money on Louis any day. Like I would want to see Louis rip Joe Gorga apart. I hate him, not physically, but like verbally. You know, maybe physically a little bit. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I am not a Louis fan. I don't necessarily like hate him or anything, but it
Yeah.
just I don't know. Something's off about him.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, aside from how red his skin is, like what is the skin color?
I don't know. I have no
I've
idea.
never seen redder people than him, Joe Gorga, and Frank Sr. Like, why are they all so red?
Yeah, I don't know. At least with like Frank Sr., you could probably attest something to steroids. I don't know about the other two.
He looks like almost like an aubergine, like an eggplant color. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not right. It's not right.
No, it's definitely a different shade of skin that I haven't seen too
No,
often.
I don't understand how that even happens to a person.
Descendant of Barney.
I could see it. They have similar vibes. Creepy, preaching love.
I was always
Kinda
jealous of that
culty.
tree house, though. The tree house
Yeah.
in the backyard in Barney. That was always a
My
masterful
dream.
tree house.
My dream was to have a tree house as a kid. That was my
Yes.
dream. I wanted one.
I
Well-
want to bring up my
Mhm.
favorite kids yet again. I think I'm just like completely all on board, all four of them collectively.
4
As
daughters.
like my favorite, my favorite children of out of Housewives.
That's a
which
very
I know
unpopular opinion.
I don't understand people's
I also
hate
don't
for
understand.
these girls. They've been through so fucking much, and Gia seems to have such a good head on her shoulders.
Mhm.
And like, if you have an issue with them, you have issues. That's it. It's really what it
Yeah.
comes down to. Like, the one like question mark I have is how do all of them look older than me? Like, they are all so fucking
Even the one that's like 11.
well, yeah, the
Yeah,
youngest one. I
agree.
can't always I always mess them up. Like, the second oldest one, is that Adriana?
I think it's Melania. Oh, no, second
Melania's
oldest.
third.
Yes, Melania is the second youngest. Yes.
So,
I don't
it goes
know.
Gia and Melania look a lot like Teresa, and then
The other two look like Joe.
Adriana, and I don't know the youngest one's name.
Gabriella.
Gabriella.
Adriana is the youngest
Adriana.
one.
Adriana's
Gabriella's
youngest? Oh. Well, one of the second oldest just got accepted to University of Michigan, and like,
yes. Have you heard
dude,
of bed parties?
no, what the fuck is that?
I have also not heard of bed parties, but Matt, my partner, some may know him as Glances, is very some reason invested in what schools Melissa and Teresa's kids are going to. He's given me all the updates, but because he went to University of Delaware and Antonia is going to University of Delaware,
Oh,
and
she's gonna be a blue hen. Is that what they are?
she's going to be a blue hen. And he explained to me what a bed party is, and apparently it's like, I guess he learned this from reading about these kids going to college, but it's I guess when like people get accepted to school and everybody brings over school merchandise, like merchandise from that school. Like you have a party and all your friends celebrate you and they put the merchandise on the bed. So I don't know if you saw Teresa's post today about which one is it? Gabriella?
I don't fucking know. I'm gonna look
whatever.
now.
Whoever's
I
going to
saw it
college.
on Gia's thing.
Well,
'Cause I
Teresa
don't follow
posted.
Teresa. I only follow Gia.
I actually don't follow Gia. I only follow Teresa, but I saw just like everything covered, all this University of Michigan stuff covered on her bed. And I was like, oh, I guess it's a bed party. So I've learned something. It sounds much more nefarious, the name.
Oh, Gabriella. It's Gabriella.
Gabriella. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know, like, You can
Yes.
see that. It's a whole first of all, I taught high school for 11 years and never heard of a bed party. So, this has to be some rich white kid shit because
I'm
I never
sure it
taught rich
is.
white kids.
I'm
You know
sure
what I
it's a
mean?
very
Like,
privileged white kid thing.
yeah, I never heard of it. And, so yeah, I saw that, but to bring it back to, these adult-looking children that Teresa has produced,
Yes.
um they're the most reasonable ones out of the whole arguably the whole maybe Housewives franchise. Like,
I think Giselle's kids are probably up there.
yeah, do you like Giselle's kids? But I mean,
But
like,
other than
even out of
that,
Housewives, like, they might be some of the
oh
most
yeah.
reasonable people out of everything. And so if you are coming for any of those 4 kids on the internet, shut down.
Yeah.
Reset your computer. It
Yeah.
probably needs some updates done. Mine did it
Mhm.
earlier. It took close to an hour. And just, like, go give your Twitter fingers a rest.
Yeah, it's like big weirdo energy when I see people like publicly bashing the children of housewives. Like I understand, especially Gia, she's in her 20s, she has confessionals on the show, whatever. But you know who else did? Lauren Manzo for 100 years. She was like a main character of the show.
Yeah.
Chris Manzo, Albie Manzo, all the Manzos, they never got the hate. And they were more involved in the drama than the
Mhm.
Judice kids ever were. And
Yeah.
also, this is their family.
Mhm.
And Melissa's out here blocking her nieces, trying to make it seem like Teresa's the problem. Don't bring up my daughter's name on a bus, but you're out here like blocking all of your nieces on Instagram. Like, that's weird. You're the adult in the situation. And all
Mhm.
people on the internet, you guys are the adults too. So, like, let's take it down a notch. It's fucking weird.
Also, we see an edited TV show. There's
Right.
probably so much other shit, especially Gia, who has, like, seen and
Yeah.
gone through because not only has she had to I mean, given all their kids did, but, like, there's something about being the oldest daughter where you're
Yeah.
basically like mom number 2. And when mom
Oh my
number
God.
1 is
Yeah.
away in jail because dad has decided to apparently I saw like they wouldn't produce the documents, which is kind of like
Yeah.
why the judge like really went hard on them or whatever,
I
but
think they lied about their assets a couple of times or whatever.
yeah. Nonetheless, like the she had to do all this publicly. Most people get to deal with their family trauma behind closed
Yeah.
doors. And so just like back off. Criticize anybody else on that show. Leave the
Literally,
kids.
Lauren Manzo is still to this day talking about Teresa. They just had an event that Caroline was at, and Lauren Manzo was there, and they were both talking about. And for Caroline Manzo to come off of Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip season 4, which we have not seen yet, and we've heard nothing but stories about what allegedly happened. And I'm not saying it
Mhm.
didn't happen. I'm not saying I don't know anything. I really don't know the details. But she's like, I'm traumatized by this. But if it's what happened, did happen, then I understand that. But also, you put a hit out on your sister, or like your brother-in-law put a hit
Mhm.
out on your sister, and then like almost killed her, and you wrote a character witness for her, and also so did Dolores. So, for him and not for her, I mean, for your brother-in-law, who's probably part of the mob, why are you the one out here talking and taking the moral fucking high ground about Teresa and talking still in 2023 talking about who called the feds on Teresa, saying,
Yeah.
well, I know who did it. It wasn't me, but I know who did it, but I'm not going to say. Shut up. You are coming off of this being like, I'm never going to be on Housewives again. Okay, then stop talking about it. Stop talking about it.
Either
Move on with your
sell
life.
the story or say it
Right.
yourself or stop talking.
Right. Like, what are you doing? Ugh, I can't stand Caroline Manzo.
Well, we're in for a treat with Girls Trip season 4.
I'm not
Quick
mentally prepared for
sidebar.
that.
Did you see
Yeah.
that season 5 is Legacy?
Yes, I did. I have a lot of thoughts
That's
about this. Let's add this to the list of things we're going to talk. I'm writing it down. And I'm putting it above Summer House because I find it to be more important. I'm
I don't
reordering
know.
my
I'm really
list here.
liking Martha's Vineyard.
All right,
You
we can
should catch
close.
You should catch up on that one soon.
I will.
That
I
one's
definitely
good.
will. We can close with New York then. But we
Okay.
haven't talked about the wedding yet. So what were your thoughts on the wedding?
Okay.
The reunion's probably happening right now. It either just ended or it's happening right now live on television.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we'll talk about it next time. It seems like it's going to be a toxic disaster, but let's talk about
Yeah.
something a little more joyful.
First of all, was Ramona there? I didn't
No,
see her.
no,
Okay,
she was
you
not
got
there.
uninvited after you put the whole fucking thing on
I don't
blast.
think she got uninvited. I think she
You think
just
you just
didn't
didn't
come.
go?
I don't
There's
know.
no way she didn't go out of embarrassment because Ramona doesn't get embarrassed. So
No. I don't know
I
why
don't
she
know.
didn't go. Maybe she, who knows? But no, she was not there.
Um, first and foremost, I don't care for weddings. I am
Yeah, me neither.
I'm the worst. I understand that. I am anything that's like what's the word I'm looking for? When there's like formal set
Yeah.
expectations through these like these traditions that like why do they still exist and like
Yeah.
why do we spend all this money on weddings and why do you need to have all of this like all the bridesmaids drama why like well you already got married just fucking you don't need bridesmaids
Yeah.
just go up there like I don't know for me so like I watched it I think live actually maybe the next day I can't remember watched it it was fine there's a lot of weird shit for a
A lot of
wedding
weird shit.
like it looked like half of a Taylor Swift music video and half of, like, a New Jersey.
Yeah, it
I
was weird.
there are Taylor Swift music videos of her in a martini glass, so it
Mm.
like, that did exist. I don't know, there was a lot. I think the biggest thing that stuck out to me was, like, why was Margaret there? I get that it's, like, filmed for the show, but if you don't like someone, don't go to their fucking wedding just because you were invited.
Dude, I can't with Margaret. First of all, Margaret showing up with her raggedy ass outfit and her raggedy ass hair, coming in and talking about Teresa's wedding hair, which was outlandish. But
Yeah.
that's why Teresa's a great housewife, because she gives us outlandish craziness. This is why
veil
we
as
love
well.
Teresa. Yes, everything about her is over the top and completely ridiculous and tacky, but that's why she's a great housewife. Margaret showing up in whatever the fuck she showed up, rolled out of bed with this mess, and then is like, oh, her hair. And then she just makes it all about Melissa and Joe, and she's like, I just don't feel right, so I'm going to leave. Then why'd you come, bitch? You knew they weren't coming. You knew they weren't coming. What, you just wanted to be on camera? You wanted your day fee or whatever, on camera fee, whatever it is that you're getting paid this day to show up? Please, spare us. You shouldn't even be there in the first place. Also, Jackie being there.
Oh, I didn't even notice, to be honest. I know
Jackie
some other
was there.
housewives. Why was Dorinda there? Like, are they
Great
friends?
question. I have no idea.
And Kenya was on
Girls trip.
with her.
And she
And they also
gifted her
filmed
and Louis the trip
Oh,
that she
yeah,
won.
yeah.
Mhm.
And, they filmed that commercial together as
Yes.
well.
Yep.
So that made sense to me. What other housewives did I see that was like
Phaedra was there.
Oh, yeah. Why?
And Chanel Ayan.
I mean, I want Chanel Ayan to come to every single wedding
Yep.
or every housewives event.
Ashley Darby was there.
Oh, was she? Oh, what?
Yes.
Giselle was there too, wasn't she?
I don't think
I
so.
see Giselle? No? Am I making that up?
So.
No, maybe I am making that up. Ashley Darby was that?
Ashley Darby was there.
A weird collection of housewives that were there.
Oh, yes. Alexia. Amy in the chat says Alexia. Alexia was there. The Cuban version of Teresa.
Yes. Yeah.
They are basically twins to me in my mind.
Interesting. Can also, I mean, yeah. I could see the connections for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was over the top. I get that, like, I don't know, to me it's your second wedding.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's both of their second weddings. So it's like, this is a lot. We're doing a lot here. You guys are in your 50s. Let's keep it moving. But like, listen, I'm not being ageist. Live your best life.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like, okay. I mean, you've done it once.
Yeah. I saw it. I appreciated the girls standing up and being like, stop fucking talking about my uncle. Like, who is bringing her
Melania
up?
sounded like, do you remember when Rosie was screaming and be like, who's talking about my father at the reunion?
Yeah.
And Teresa was like, who's yelling? That's what Melania sounded like to me.
Yeah.
It was Rosie screaming.
I've really
and that same like
that raspiness
yeah.
And like deepness to it.
And pure rage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've grown an appreciation for Melania since she maybe turned like 10. She used to be such a little
Yeah.
shithead kid. I remember I've texted you being like, I would launch Melania to the
Yes,
moon
like
if
into
I
the
had
sun.
to spend 10 minutes with this
Yes.
child.
Was it her song that made you like her?
When she rapped as like her form of therapy.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Sure, we could say that's the turning point if it's better for the
It's a great
plot.
song.
That's fine.
One of my favorite Housewives adjacent songs for sure.
There are quite a few.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't like the wedding was
Yeah.
fine. The wedding was fine. Again, it would have been so much better if we had taken it from the perspective of we know that
Yeah,
Melissa and
I
Joe
agree.
weren't going to be there.
I agree. I also think it's interesting that we do find out that Melissa and Joe never told Teresa that they weren't coming to the wedding. She found out from Dolores, which is interesting.
I mean, to me, I wouldn't expect anything different.
No, neither would I, but it's like you want to talk a big game about it, but like you can't even tell her that you're not going to her wedding. It's like pretty lame. And I thought the posting of the social media during her wedding was maybe some of the tackiest, most disgusting display that we've seen from people. Like they are just so low down and gross to me that it's like, okay, you want to take a stand and not go to the wedding, that's one thing. But then to like post all this stuff during her wedding and say like, ooh, this is the best party, families, whatever. That's gross, especially when you're on your moral high ground all season of Teresa saying chosen family. When Joe was invited to that party, whatever it was for, I don't even remember, and he didn't go. Their housewarming or something. I don't remember what it was. And he didn't go. So it's like Melissa walks away crying. He chose not to go, just the same way they chose not to go to the wedding and then get upset that she said chosen family at the wedding. It's just like, this is all you guys, you're doing this. You could have kept up the guys just for the wedding and then like cut it off right after that, but you decided not to because you need some like fuel to keep you on TV. But I actually did think, as much as Louis has been unhinged this whole season, I thought how he handled it at the wedding was appropriate. Like he was pissed, as anybody would have been, but was like, I don't even want to tell Teresa because it's going to ruin her day. And I felt like that was totally reasonable.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I agree with everything you said. I don't really have anything to add to it. I just like, I don't, no one to me has taken the high road in New Jersey.
Yeah.
It's like they live in tunnels. They just keep more and more tunnels. Yep. So none of it surprises me. We just need a change. Truly, we need a change. We can't keep watching the same like 13 episodes of this recurring drama.
And I think it sounds like Andy has said like one of them will be going.
I mean, Teresa Ray fired Melissa. So did you see in the preview?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I am excited to watch it. I'm a little like, ugh, this is going to make my stomach turn. But it feels like Teresa's going to be in true form at this reunion, similar to the reunion where she wore that green dress and she was a monster. Like, this is my favorite version of, maybe that's terrible to say, but this is some of my favorite work that Teresa does is when she's just a total vile monster. So, like, I'm excited for her to be activated.
We get Tree Rex.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Thank you.
I love it. TM that. Trademark that.
Andy, don't steal our shit like we stole your
shit. Yeah, please
TV
don't.
show name.
Yeah, please don't.
We'll go cease and desist for cease and desist.
Yeah, I won't. We will. Just like Joe is going to send to Katie. Okay. If nothing else on Teresa's wedding, let's briefly cover Atlanta so far this season. I know we talked a little bit before going live about what a flop this season has been so far. So let's talk about it.
Everything seems so fucking produced and manufactured right now in Atlanta. And something that's always made Atlanta one of my favorites is just like the organic banter between the women. And they like how they take digs at each other, but it's never taken personally. Where like right now, the centerpiece of drama is because Candy said she like didn't know like a friend of. Like this seems so fucking forced on us. And just for like, oh, Candy hasn't been at the center of drama for some seasons, so let's put her at it. It like what are we doing? Why are we this Atlanta's supposed to be fun with drama, and right now it seems like forced drama and not fun.
Yeah, it definitely feels like there's something off with I don't know if it's the cast isn't clicking. I'm excited for Cynthia to come back. Like maybe that'll make it feel a little bit more,
She's always
organic.
been good at like lightening the mood, and like she's always
Yeah.
been a nice form of glue in a way.
Yeah, except on Ultimate Girls Trip.
Yeah, but her and Kenya are apparently good now, so
Yes, yes, which I'm
that's good
excited
news.
for. I think, yeah, I don't know. I wrote a couple of notes. I'm going to pull them up because some of them, I apologize in advance because most of them are anti-Candy, and I know she's your girl, but she's really not doing it for me this season.
I feel
Um,
like she's being put in a situation where she like can't be the Candy that I like, if that makes sense.
yeah, I think this weird girl, what's her name? Courtney? Is this the new
I don't know.
the
She's some
friendo?
bitch to me, so
Some bitch to
coming
me. It's
coming after my
Courtney.
girl.
I have it in my notes here. I don't feel like Courtney came at her hard enough to warrant the reaction that Candy gave her in the first and second episode. Like it just felt a little over the top. But my main issue is Todd. I fucking hate Todd. And
Never been a Todd fan.
I've been medium on Todd. I've always been medium on Todd, but last season I was like, oh, we're really like talking about this condo or whatever was going on with him. Now he wants to write and produce movies. And I'm sorry, you expect me to believe that in their mansion, he's sitting at the kitchen fucking table, taking a Zoom call without headphones on, being like, duh, I'm writing my script here. And now my kids and my family are here. I'm like, okay, that's clearly go to another room. Okay, go to another room.
Right.
I just felt very put on to me. I don't know. I think Todd is like, I feel like I'm on Mama Joyce's side now. He does seem like an opportunist.
I mean, but it's to me, an opportunist is someone who like latches on so that they have the opportunity to become more successful. And I mean, like that's going to come with being married to Candy Burris, but he also like has his own ventures, like the restaurants and stuff that.
But they very clearly on the outside of the restaurant say Candy and Todd presents on the sign of the restaurant,
I mean,
which like,
why wouldn't you?
Please. Oh, I find that to be so.
Kids.
That's so tacky
Blaze
to me.
Pizza or whatever. Blaze.
Yeah, Blaze Steakhouse.
Blaze Pizza is a.
And now they're opening a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, he's just like,
bro, come on. What are we doing?
Just trying to make his cash. No, I mean, like, I don't really have much to defend or like not defend Todd on. To me, it's kind of like, I think there is some realistic parts of the conflict that they have where he has always like supported Candy and chasing her dreams and wanting it to be reciprocated. And I just don't think like Candy knows how to do that. Like, I don't think she knows how to be like the beta in anything with.
Well, she shouldn't have to be. She's been famous her whole life. She's worldwide. She's been famous basically her whole life since her teenage years. Yeah. And this dude just happened to work on a show that she worked on and figured out a way to get her to marry him. And now he's sitting on a fucking mountain of her fucking money. And he has the nerve to say, you're not helping me produce my movies that he wouldn't even have the opportunity to produce if he didn't have Candy's fucking money. So like, I'm sorry, Todd, you have to go. Get into the bin now. Goodbye, sir. You are trash. And I'm done with you. Go to your fucking condo in Jersey City or wherever, Newark, wherever it was, and get the fuck out of here, please.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, Todd just doesn't faze me in that way. Like, it's just like, okay, if anything, I just wish we didn't have to hear from the husband or like from Todd, especially because like
same. You know how I feel about the husbands.
Yeah, we're losing Ralph soon because like him and again another situation where we know they're getting divorced and we're gonna pretend like everything's all merry and bright like it's goddamn Christmas Day in Atlanta.
I can't.
So I can't. Another instance of just like an opportunity for Bravo to treat its viewers intelligently and they don't. Like it's.
Yeah.
I am gonna go back to this for a second. I think Bravo really needs to like take a grasp on the fact that we know a lot of what's happening with these shows as they're happening. Yeah. Because of social media. So stop making it seem like, oh my God, you're going to see all these things. You have no idea. It's like, what? Melissa didn't go to Teresa's wedding?
I know.
Or what? Like Drew and her husband are getting divorced? Like we know these things. Fucking and like clown on them or something, like
Yeah.
integrate it in, or like give us a little like fourth wall like wink behind the camera of like, ha ha ha, we know this is gonna like go left real you know, like it
Yep.
just maybe that's another issue that I have, because like we're getting a decent amount of Drew right now, and it's this like, we're making music together, we're so like happy and healthy together, and like we know y'all are divorced.
I'm just so embarrassed for her that she put this man on the cover of
Yeah.
her single. As soon as I
Mhm.
saw it, I was like, why is Ralph on the cover? What is he? I mean, I guess he produced it, but what other producer is ever on the cover? I don't know. It's a mess. They're a mess. I have a lot of secondhand embarrassment for them.
Atlanta,
Um,
like overall, is kind of a mess right now in general. There's just
yeah,
not a lot that I'm like enjoying. There's nothing that I'm like, oh, I can't wait
no.
to see what happens, or like this has happened and this has been fun or funny. Like, I don't know. I
I
feel like even
know.
Sheree's kind of been Sheree. Now that
Sheree.
we had,
She's
yeah, now
Sheree.
she by Sheree, because we had Sheree over in
Yeah, in
the
Beverly
other
Hills.
coast that I
Mm-hmm.
always question myself. Even like she's not really landing for me right now. A lot of like it feels like she's taking swings in confessionals just to take them because she knows
Yeah.
they're going to be like clipped,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
and she doesn't bring that same energy, or she acts one way and then gets mad when other people act the same way. I don't know. Like, I'm just having a lot of issues with Atlanta, and I hate saying that because Candy's my favorite housewife of all time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
she's always been my number one, and this just isn't bringing me joy right now.
Yeah. I know. I agree with you. I mean, Kenya breathes life into me. She makes me laugh. I always find her
Mhm.
to be hilarious. So she's giving me everything that she needs to give this season. This charity event of the last episode was just
Oh
so
my
truly
god.
unhinged that they got kicked out of the place that they were. I mean, just it was truly on another level. And I don't feel like anybody can give us that other than Kenya. And I'm so happy for the return of Kenya More Hair Care, making that a
Mhm.
moment because I can't even say Kenya More Hair Care without
Without
thinking
saying
that
it.
in my head. So yeah, and I have a love. I don't want to say love hate with Marlo because it's never a hate, but it is a complicated relationship with Marlo. I find her hilarious. I think she's great for the show. I don't know what's going on with her and Kenya at the end of this last week's episode, or not even 2 days ago. And the conversation with her and Drew, I kind of understand where she's coming from, but it does feel like this Candy thing with her nephew kind of came out of nowhere. Although I guess I
Yeah.
can understand like being triggered by it given what happened at Blaze, which I also think is a little shady that they're not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like you can't just say like it's a legal issue, like it happened. You don't have to say like who was at fault or whatever, but like yeah, a shooting happened at your restaurant.
Yeah.
I don't know. I understand
They
why she was frustrated with Drew for saying incident and like trying to
Mhm.
protect Candy on camera. I get that. But then tying it back to her nephew, I guess it is triggering. I don't know. What are your
It
thoughts on that
seemed
whole thing?
it seemed like a lot for what was happening. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, as you know, I am like very close to a
Yeah.
like gun violence
Hmm.
murder. And so having like experienced that, given like my partner is an entirely different person than Marlo, because I could
Yeah.
never date a Marlo, that's for
No.
sure. Uh it would just seemed like she went from 0 to 100 really quick, and I didn't really understand why, especially because it seems like there's been some time that has passed between.
Yes, it does seem like that.
So I was just confused, but like it's not my place to, I guess, like judge how you grieve, but I think
Right.
it is my place to judge like how you are reacting towards someone. And there's like a difference. It felt like Drew was her punching bag in that moment, somewhat unnecessarily. And I think
Yeah.
there's an easier way to be like, hey, I went through this. I can't talk about this right now. It's a sensitive topic, as opposed to like, and especially just oh shit, my microphone. The optics of it, because like Drew is standing down, Marlo is standing. So like
Yeah.
just like the yelling down at her in your
Mhm.
like anger, emotion, or whatever. It's just like a lot of power dynamics at play.
Mhm.
I don't know. To me, it just like felt very weird. And then for Marlo to get like so defensive of her actions when it was brought back up by Kenya, and like she's like, well, you weren't even there, but like, okay, and like how many times you guys bring up things that you weren't there for
Right.
and it goes unchecked or whatever. So I don't know, it was a lot. I can't defend how Marlo reacted, but in a way
Yeah.
I have a level of understanding for her, but I don't like give it a pass, I guess.
Yeah, like I can understand if she, and I don't know that she is feeling this way. I don't know if she's said it in this way, but if this is the second time that Candy has kind of like swept a shooting under the rug, like I can
Yeah.
understand why Marla would be upset about it, especially because the first time it was someone that she was very close to as part of her family, her nephew. And she messaged Candy about it. Those text messages were kind of like, oh, damn, no way, which was kind of like crazy. I'm like, wait, that's like how you reacted when you found out like this guy who worked for you, who also happens to be Marlo's nephew, got shot. Apparently by some, I guess I'm just also a little bit confused about the connection. Like he met the person at OLG, but, and then they became roommates, but, and he used to work at OLG. But I don't know, but I don't think it happened at OLG. That's from what I understand.
No, it seemed like it happened at their apartment.
Yeah, but I guess there was a connection
Yeah.
from that, which I guess like okay, this happened at Candy's restaurant. So for her to say like Candy has all these connections to people who are doing shootings, I'm like, I don't know if I would like go
Go
that
that
far.
far. Yeah.
But if she is avoiding talking about it or calling attention to gun violence or, you know, victims of gun violence, then like I can understand why Marla would feel a type of way about that. So I don't know, it's a little complicated, but I was a little surprised to see it as like such a prominent storyline on the
Yeah.
show.
And especially when like Candy and Todd were like, we're not going to talk about this. Although it did seem like in later confessionals, they did talk about it a little bit more than they
Yeah.
did like in that moment. I don't still like if you're going to lash out at anyone, why are you lashing out at Drew? I get that like she was
Yes.
trying to she used words that were not as direct, but
Yeah.
I mean that's also probably why Candy
Didn't want to talk
texted
about
the
it.
way that she did
Yeah.
because are you going like I don't know, do you trust Marlo with receipts to like not go and
Right.
use them in a way against you? Not
Right.
saying she would, but like not saying she wouldn't either. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I could understand just being like giving the bare minimum to protect yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not
I don't
excusing
know.
Candy's reaction. There's clearly a lot of stuff that we don't know and we're never gonna find out.
Yes.
Which again goes back to your idea of like, why is this being why are
Yeah.
we bringing this up? Like, why are we breaking the fourth wall with the producer coming in and being like, so we're not going to talk about the elephant in the room? Like,
Yeah, it feels like this has to be like more, it's going to become more prominent. It feels like obviously this is already prominent for Marlo. And then she's also talking about getting her charges expunged or her record expunged
yeah,
so she can get a firearm. So it's like there's a lot of talk about guns, which I don't listen. It happened. There's shooting happened. There's shootings that happen everywhere. I think it's an important topic to talk about. But then it's also like, oh, but I also want to get a gun and I understand she had a very traumatizing thing
yeah,
happen to her. She wants to be able to protect herself, protect her nephews. I don't know. It's just a little bit of like a topic that like, I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I want to be talking about guns in my housewives.
yeah. I don't necessarily need the two mixing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
It's
again, like,
complicated.
I'm not like, this is a reality TV show. And if this is their reality in the time that they filmed it,
Yes.
there's no avoiding that. But I think it comes back to the fact that like Atlanta has always been great for providing us with this like this fun level of drama,
Hmm.
this level of like taking shots at each other, but like also being ridiculous. And when I think of like Bolo the stripper or whatever his name is,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they have fun, and I'm not seeing a lot of fun. I think that's what's missing right now is like we're missing the fun. They've always been able to like when they go on these trips overcome the issues, but I mean like
Yeah.
Marlo and Kenya got into it over what? And
Right. I know.
and like Kenya
not
looking
hitting.
out. Yeah, I want more fun, but at the same time, like these women have been around each other for a long time.
Yeah.
That it could I know one of the greatest traits of housewives is being able to come on and like forgive and forget in a way, and not necessarily forget, but like
Mhm.
compartmentalize maybe might be the best way of framing it. But some of them have been around for a while. Like Marlo's been around for a long time.
Yep.
Kenya's been around for a long time. Candy's been there since season 1,
Season
right?
2. Season
2?
2.
2?
Yeah.
Okay, she was in season 1. Um, a long time. That
A long time.
stuff adds up.
Yeah. Yeah. I get how it
Sheree,
goes for
too.
the rest of the
Yeah.
season. I think it's like I don't give a shit about Sonya's family.
Oh my
Sonya.
god, yes,
Like I
yes.
could not care less. And the fact that they're getting confessionals, I'm like in episode like 2, I'm like, oh, this
Mhm,
does not bode well for the rest of the season. If these people that we don't even know, she's a second
mhm,
season housewife. She got the first event of the season. First of all,
mhm.
how is her husband only 40 years old? How many times has this man turned 40? I want to know. I want to know. His
I don't
gray
know.
beard isn't telling me 40. It's telling me like 44 at least.
I have no comment.
I'm just
I've
calling it
had
like I
gray
see it
since I
here.
was 18,
Me
so
too. I as well started turning gray in my early 20s, but I don't know. That man doesn't look 40 to me. That's all I'm
you
saying.
think he
He
looks
doesn't have,
older?
yes, I think he is at least 44, if not 46.
His name's not David Ross. What's his name?
I have
David Ross is the
truly
Cubs
no
manager.
idea. I have no
His
idea.
last name is Ross, right? Sonya's husband, housewives, former Giants
Or is his
player.
first name Ross?
What the hell? It gave me fucking Sonia Morgan.
The one true
Sonya. It's
Sonya.
because I put
SonyA, I think.
yeah. Aaron Ross.
Aaron.
There we go. I would not have gotten to Aaron
No,
anytime
no,
soon. I
literally
promise you
never.
that.
Never.
Aaron Ross age. He's 40.
Well, listen. Google also
Sonya's
says that
38.
Tom Sandoval is 39 and that man is in his 40s. And it's been confirmed by other cast members that he's in his 40s. So,
Oh, really?
yes. So, I don't always trust what Google has to say.
Okay. I can get behind it. Yeah, here's to hoping for the best that Atlanta turns around, but
we
right
haven't
now I'm
talked at
not
all
impressed.
about Martell, and I don't want to talk about Martell because
I didn't I know that he was on some show and it didn't go well or something, but no, I don't care
yeah.
either. He seems like he's Sheree has awful taste in men.
Oh my
She might as
God.
well date trash cans. Like they
It would
treat her
work out
better.
better for her, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually thought Kenya was being a very good friend to Sheree
Yeah.
when she was having those conversations of like, this is the behavior that this is how Bob treated you, and like you need to like make these men respect. I was like, you know what, good for you for like being upfront with her. Sheree it was like talking to a brick wall.
And
And you
that's
know,
like
I love Sheree, and I'm not loving her this season, unfortunately.
that's like part of what's annoying me about her is she'll be upfront with people and is the bone collector or whatever. And then like someone approaches her in a way of like, I care about you. And it's
Yeah,
like, don't talk to my man that like,
I
okay.
know. And he was just like, ugh,
Yeah. Yeah.
horrible. Right, that's all I have in Atlanta. I don't have that much. I don't
So
want to make it seem like I don't think that they should be shining a light on gun violence. I do think that they should. I think it's coming up on the show in a strange way
yeah,
to try and like put people in a corner or like
100%
shine a
agree.
spotlight on someone like not doing the right thing. It's just it just feels a little off to me, the way that it's being talked about.
Yeah, I agree.
But I do like it when housewives talk about real life causes. Like I know I said like don't mix guns with my housewives. I don't necessarily mean that. I just mean the way they're doing it seems a little, I don't know, something just seems weird.
Well, we're not being like upfront about anything. I
Right,
guess
right.
to an extent Marlo is, but because we're not getting like the reciprocated side and it's like Marlo used it as I don't want to say a weapon, but like a way to come down on Drew. It wasn't like
Yeah.
it's one thing if like Marlo had sat down with Drew and goes, the way you use the word incident makes me feel a certain way because I experienced A, B, and
Yeah.
C. Or you get Marlo and Candy sitting down and like hashing it out, and like, yes, gun violence is awful, and
Mhm.
can we come together and host an event? You know what I mean? Like, there's definitely ways
Yeah.
around it, and especially when you have every single episode opening up with Sheree being like, you don't know if you're gonna get biscuits or bullets when you go to, like,
Yeah, like that's not funny
yeah,
to me.
yeah,
Yeah. I agree. Host an event, shine some light on it. I think what they're doing is showing that no matter your social status or the amount of money you have, like anybody can be impacted by gun violence, because the guy that got shot at Blaze was Candy's cousin. So it's like, you know, it can happen, Marlo's nephew. It can happen to anybody. It just does feel like
it's not being addressed head on. It's
no,
being
it's
used
not.
as like a vehicle, and that feels a little
Yeah, something about it just feels weird. Okay. Anything else in Atlanta? I hope it gets better.
Yeah,
I do
same.
feel like heading into the season, they didn't promote it very much.
No.
I like didn't see one preview for it. It kind of came in like, you know, what is it? Out like a lion and like a lamb. It came in like a lamb. So maybe it'll go out like a lion, but I didn't even realize it was premiering until it had already premiered. And I only caught up yesterday.
Yeah.
Which is unlike me. So I don't know. I hope it gets better.
Same. I agree.
All right.
What's next on our list?
Summer houses.
Okay.
We have a few.
Yeah,
few
let's
houses.
talk about yours. So
okay.
It's the reunion just happened?
The reunion happened yesterday.
Is it
one of two?
Okay.
Question mark? Maybe three, but I would find it very surprising if there was three, because I'm actually shocked that we even have one reunion of content coming from this season, because it was a little I don't want to say it wasn't good. So we talked a little bit before going live and recording. I am not a summer house historian. I came in during the season where they were all stuck in the house during COVID. So I didn't go back and rewatch anything. It was Hannah Berner's last season. And it caught my attention. I actually liked that season the best because they were just like in the house. And I found like that it was pretty interesting watching their dynamics in the house, which they still are, but like they were there for the whole summer. Now they go back and forth between New York City and
so did it have like a real world dynamic to it?
Yeah, kind of, like a little bit, kind of, yeah. Which I thought was interesting. And every season I feel like it's gotten like a little less interesting for me so far, but I do like the show. But this season was really about Carl and Lindsay's relationship and everybody else in the house making Carl and Lindsay public enemy. Really, Lindsay public enemy number one, and the dissolution of her friendship with Danielle. Which
okay, is
I know
Danielle the best friend?
Danielle is the best friend, yes.
Okay, I told Katie before we started recording that I had to take a lot of flights within 1 week, and my go-to on Southwest is you can watch Bravo for free, and that's actually like one of the reasons that also helped me get into Bravo, because I like would just throw it on because you could like pick up any episode of Below Deck and like find it entertaining.
Yes, Below Deck is the best plane show.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Yes.
And so I watched the episode of Summer House from this season where Carl proposed to Lindsay.
Yes.
But it was very much overshadowed by this woman, Danielle, being very mad that she had no idea that it was going to happen.
Yes.
So that is literally all I knew about the season. And then the only other thing I saw was very recently, maybe like yesterday, on social media, something about a shoe being thrown at a producer. That's all I know from this season.
I would love to know more about that. I hope that we find out more about that. The reunion was actually pretty interesting. Paige, who's dating Craig from Southern Charm, I feel like she lays in bed most of the season, and then for some reason she just like shows up at these reunions with a lot of feelings about things that she's not involved in. And I'm not a Lindsay fan. I'm not a fan of anybody really on the show other than I do like Kyle. I love a problematic white man. I don't know what's wrong with me. They make good TV. I don't support them as people, but on TV, they make me laugh. James Kennedy, Kyle, Brett from Big Brother 20. I know that's a really unpopular opinion, but he was funny on the show. I think he's a garbage human. So yeah, I don't know. It's my most toxic trait. What can I do? But I lost what I was talking about.
Paige being in bed and then coming to reunions.
Oh,
with
I
lots
just
of
find
thoughts.
everybody on the show to be kind of boring. And they did bring in some new people this season and they were interesting. They were probably the most interesting people on the show. But I don't know. It just felt like they all season tried to make this relationship a big issue when like Carl and Lindsay had been friends for 100 years. They've known each other for such a long time, but everyone's like, they're moving so fast in their relationship. They moved in and they're getting engaged and it's so soon and oh my god, my clutching my pearls. But it's like, okay, they've been friends for years and they're dating for almost a year and like they know what they want to do, so they're just gonna get married. Like, big deal.
So
I don't know
they've
why
been
everybody's making
together
a big fucking
for
deal about it.
a year and then they
Ish,
got
yeah,
engaged?
like a little bit under a year.
I mean, I don't know. It's an easy thing to complain about, and I think a lot of people who complain about that shit are just coming from either like a lack of experience in relationships or like insecurity or
Uh,
jealousy. I mean, given I don't know how the hell my parents are still together, but they got married after like I think they were engaged like within 3 months and
oh my gosh.
married. Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
Ken and
Something
Lisa
stupid.
Vanderpump as well.
Right. My parents just celebrated what? I'm 30. I'm gonna be 35 next month, so their 36th wedding anniversary this month. Like,
That's
I don't
amazing.
know. For some people it works, and for others it
Sometimes you just
doesn't. It's
know.
dumb and like at the end of the day, it's not your relationship to judge. So just
Right.
shut up. Cause then,
Exactly.
cause the worst thing, like I would never want to be in a place where I'm like, oh my god, you've only been together for 10 months and you're getting engaged, and then like a year later, I find myself in this whirlwind romance
Of
and
course.
sorry, like I cannot accept your proposal despite the fact I know I want to
Right.
spend the rest of my life with you because I talked a lot of shit. Like
Hmm.
I can't wear scrunchies because I talked so much shit about them in that era when they weren't cool and then
Yeah.
they became
No,
cool
you
again.
can wear them.
No, I can't be a hypocrite. But I do need a good hair tie. There's so much hair on top of my head. Like, look,
No,
this bun is falling
you gotta get a
apart.
fucking scrunchie, Carrie. It's
I need to just
okay.
get a haircut. But so in conclusion, like
I
I don't
love
know,
a good
people can just
scrunchie.
shut the fuck up. Given I don't know. I know they came back in style, but look at all this hair.
It
Anyway,
is a lot
so
of
yeah,
you have a lot of hair.
I'm signed up for a haircut in the near future. I'm sick of this mop. But uh anyway, I say that to say like you just don't know what you're going to experience in the future. So for you to come in and
Exactly.
like run your mouth about shit, just let them live. If they get divorced, like is that your issue? No.
No, and that's so this girl. So Danielle, essentially, the main conflict of the season is that Lindsay and Danielle have been besties for a long time. She's been part of the friendship with Carl and Lindsay for a long time, and for whatever reason, she feels very slighted, and she's like, "Oh, I can't get used to them being together." Obviously, there's more going on behind the scenes, but she's just been not supportive. Coming into the season, we knew that they had a falling out, but we didn't really know why or what the situation was. It's kind of like one of these things where it's like we heard about it before the season. And
Yeah.
Danielle was on, I think, Watch What Happens Live in the beginning of the season and was like, just wait, you'll be on my side. Like, just wait. And pretty much everybody collectively is not on her side. And she's totally
She was
embarrassed herself.
in the one episode I saw,
Unhinged.
she was such a
Unhinged
bitch to like go up to everyone and be
at
like,
that
"I
engagement
can't
party.
believe they didn't involve me," or like, you can't even say they because it's not like Lindsay knew she was
Well,
getting proposed to that
that's the
night.
drama of like, did Lindsay know and did they just do it for the camera? And Paige got embarrassed because she was like, I know how People Magazine works. And then a writer for People Magazine, who also is like Dave Quinn, he's like very involved in Bravo,
Mhm.
was like, actually, this like isn't how People Magazine works, but I'm happy to explain it to Paige if she has any questions. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I don't.
It's just embarrassing. The whole thing is
Her
embarrassing.
her behavior that night. A lot of people just like listened to it and kept it moving, but there were a couple people who pushed back on
Who
her.
were
Was it
like,
like her?
don't do this. Lindsay's
Yeah,
friend. Yeah.
yeah. Lindsay's like one of her other friends was just
Hmm.
like, shut the fuck up. Uh, yeah, I definitely was like, I do not like this girl at
Also,
all.
I don't feel like I need to know when any of my friends are getting engaged.
Yeah. Why? Like,
I didn't
like,
know
what
when my best friend was getting proposed to. I don't feel any type of way about it whatsoever. I was just happy for him.
I barely knew my brother was proposing. So
Yeah, like I
I
just
think he
don't see what
texted
the
me
big
the
deal
day before.
is.
And it was like, I'm proposing tomorrow, by the way. I'm like, well, okay, have fun.
I feel like you and I are very similar in our views about marriage and things like the
Yeah.
pressure of the way that society makes people feel about it. So maybe we are not
Like,
the right people to judge about like why this is a big deal, but I really truly do not understand how this could be such like a friendship ending engagement ruiner of a situation.
especially because, like, at least from what I heard, it's like Lindsay's my best friend. Lindsay's my best friend. Okay,
Yes.
Lindsay did not propose to Carl. I would think it'd be
Right.
one thing if Lindsay was like, "Yo, this is what I'm gonna do," and she like didn't tell Danielle. Okay, I could understand there being, but it's still not enough to go around and be the like this dark cloud over the engagement
No.
party the way she was. Um,
And to be sobbing like
yeah,
someone died, it was truly get some real problems.
yeah. No,
Get some real fucking problems.
I also think that there's other people who think like us, and we need to be the voice for the
We
people
do. You're
who
not
are
alone out there.
anti whatever formalities. Like, uh,
Yeah.
my brother and his fiance are currently planning their wedding, and literally, like, when I was home earlier in the month, and they're like telling me this and telling me that, I'm like, literally everything you say just more and more encourages me to never have a wedding. Like, how
Yeah.
this is miserable.
Yeah.
Why would you want to do this?
Yeah. I
Weddings are
don't
a
know.
cult. I could host a podcast on why weddings are a cult. I could do
I'm
an
fine with
episode.
marriages, but weddings are a little,
Yeah.
I separate the two.
No,
Um,
yeah, I agree. I don't have anything against marriage besides the fact that it's
yeah.
the leading cause of divorce, but like it's fine. So
That's very like middle-aged man of you to say.
oh, I use that joke all the time and it lands every time.
Mm-hmm.
When someone's like, "Oh, well, like, but marriage and this and that," and I'll just chime in and be like, "Do you know what the leading cause of divorce is? Marriage." And it gets at least a chuckle.
Oh, I'm
So,
sure. I'm sure.
but it's not wrong.
It's not wrong. It's true. It's
Can't
not
get
wrong.
divorced if you don't get married. But no,
It's
I'm not
true.
anti-marriage. I'm just anti-extravagant, stupid
Hmm.
wedding. It causes so much
I'm
drama.
anti-status quo and social expectations.
Oh, 100%.
That's really where I'm at. Do whatever you
Absolutely.
want, but don't pressure other people to like live by your fucking standards, please.
Like Instagram standards.
Exactly. Exactly. Tell me about Martha's Vineyard.
Oh my god, I can't wait for you to watch this.
Okay.
So, um some very prominent Black people in society have houses on Martha's Vineyard, such as my favorite president, Barack Obama. Um, and there is like a culture of like, I don't want to say like a Black culture, but like a population of Black people going to Martha's Vineyard and vacationing there. And it's this like long-standing tradition. It's not just something that has like, here's Bravo
Yeah, been
renting out a
manufactured for the
house
show.
for some people to come in and like entertain us, right?
Hmm.
So we've got a married couple who
Oh,
are
okay.
the like centerpiece of inviting a lot of the people. Like anyone who is invited is either directly their friend or like a friend of a friend who's invited.
Okay.
And Jasmine and Silas are the married
Okay.
couple. They're my two least favorite characters on this show.
Oh, okay.
So I just want to establish that real quick. Um, so Jasmine and quite a few of the women who are there are former Playboy models who have all like gone on to do other things with their careers. Um, her and Silas were together for 6 months and then got married. Um, Silas holds a lot of traditional views, you might say, and
Oh,
is very
like
much like
focus
a
on the family.
kind of like
Oh,
Jasmine had a comment through in the thing like, my friends are going to have to adjust to like wife Jasmine. She's not the same as like the Jasmine that they knew, and just like he
I don't know
doesn't
if I
like
love
that
that.
they go out together and like men buy them drinks, and it's like your wife is literally a former Playboy bunny. She's gorgeous, as
Yeah.
are her friends. Like has issues with that, and it's become like a conversation that's happened a couple of times. And Um, he just he's too much in control of a situation that he doesn't need to have control of.
Okay. Okay.
I like almost everybody else for a variety of reasons who's in this house, but you have some characters for sure. For sure. There's one guy who's half black and half Lebanese. He is fucking hot. Easily the hottest
Okay.
guy in the house. I can't remember his name because his name doesn't matter because his face is just all I pay attention to. Um, but he brings like this level of I don't want to say like comedy, but he like lightens the mood a lot,
Yeah.
and he's attracted to one of the women in the house, and he's a great cook, and you get some insight on like he's learning a lot about being black because he was never really surrounded by black people because I
Hmm.
think his mom is Lebanese and his dad is black, and I don't know if his dad wasn't in the picture for whatever reason. I can't remember what it was, but like his mom raised him.
Yeah.
Um so you have like him learning a lot just
He
by
sounds
like
like a
being
gem.
I fucking love him. I love him. He's my favorite hands down. Um you have uh a guy who is a fraternity brother with Silas who is queer. He brings a different perspective to the house for sure. Like him a lot. I can't remember anybody's names. There's this dude who I'm like, on. He like he says a lot of shit in confessionals and kind of like sidesteps issues in person, which I don't really
Hmm.
like. I wish he'd be a little more
Hmm.
confrontational or at least like direct. There's another guy who is like in all the girls' DMs and then like 3 episodes
Oh.
in announces he has a girlfriend. And people are like, but you were in our DMs. Like there's a lot of
Oh,
fire emojis
I love
coming
a
our way.
mess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Um, one of the women brought her emotional support dog and like didn't give a heads up on it, so that made Jasmine and Silas kind of about everything. It also caused like a fight with one of the other women in like an indirect way because the guy that I love, he accidentally put like clean towels in with some of the dog stuff, and one woman
Oh,
like
I think I
flipped
like
about
saw a
it.
clip of this or
Yeah.
something.
And
Yeah.
it was like so they like voted her out of the house because she pushed Bria, who has a dog.
Oh my
And
gosh.
he was like, maybe the day after, he's like, it was me that put the stuff in. Like it wasn't Bria.
Oh shit.
And
Okay,
he's
I'll
like,
have to watch.
I did say something, but like no one listened and it just escalated really fast. And I
Oh
wasn't
my
gonna try to
gosh.
get in the middle of it. It was so funny. There's some dude who came in. So Bria was supposed to like save a room for her friend, I think it was Phil, who came in, but Phil got there like later on the first night. She forgot to save the room. He was like, I saw on FaceTime that was supposed to be my room, so I'm gonna shit in this dude's toilet and not flush it.
Oh my god.
uh that caused a scene. There was a lot
Oh
of
my
back
god.
and forth, so Phil's there for like 45 minutes and they kick him out.
Okay, I'm in. I'm so in on this. Kicking people out of the house is like I need that in my life.
2 people got kicked out within like the first two and a
That's
half
amazing.
episodes.
I'm ready for it.
It's just uh it's good. So what I like about it is there's I'm sorry if there's I think her name is Shanice. She like kind of went like crazy ex-girlfriend on her boyfriend, and that like plays a part in things. Jordan is like super hot, and she like stands up for herself and doesn't take shit. She's also like witty, and you have a lot of good personalities in here.
Hmm.
And Jasmine and Silas, the two people who are like the core of it, are my least favorite by a landslide. But yeah, I like that. Uh, I like what we're seeing, just like out of the dynamics of the house and the conversations that are happening. And something that was interesting to me was so my partner is black, and they toasted the black excellence, and the black guy who's queer, he is like, I don't like the term black excellence because to me it feels like that's like the standard or level that like white people want us to be. And
Mm.
like there was a conversation kind of evolved from that, and like I liked getting to go and like talk to my partner about that, and just I don't know, like seeing it's a good vibe in the house despite some of the drama, and they've got good personalities. And again, that dude is like not only hot but like a great character, so that just like puts it over the edge for me.
Yeah.
But No, I'm really enjoying it.
All right, I'm going to check it out. I feel like it's at a perfect place where I can binge a couple episodes, get hooked, and then I'll be like in for the rest of the season.
It has the same amount of episodes as Atlanta, so there's only what, like 3 or 4 right now?
Yeah, I think there were 4
I
episodes of
think
Atlanta, so that's perfect.
maybe 2 came out on the first week, and then,
All right, I
but
got to
yeah,
put that
it's good.
Peacock subscription to use.
That's, I've been like more or less only Peacock. I will only get one ad-free streaming service.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know, it's just a lot of money when you have a bunch of them. And
yeah, totally.
so
I'm in that place right now.
Peacock is my one ad-free one because just of
It's
how
worth
much I've been
it.
watching on there. Yeah, for
It's
sure.
worth it, especially, I mean, with this Vanderpump rewatch and the Vanderpump Rules uncensored. Oh, that's one thing we didn't talk about.
Oh, the uncensored
Which, not to go
part?
all the way back to the beginning of this podcast, but like, have you watched the uncensored reunions?
Oh, I watched.
It's jarring.
Yeah.
And I'm not sensitive about cursing, obviously. We've
I
cursed
loved
100
it.
times in this podcast. But when Andy Cohen was like, sit in the fucking chair, I was like, it like shook me. I was like, oh, this is like shaking me to my core. It was great.
Also cut like a pivotal part, which was Sheena saying that Raquel told someone at Coachella that Sandoval said they were in a really open relationship.
Yes, I know. Which is
like,
surprising. Why would they cut that from the episode? It's strange.
I don't know.
Ugh, Sandoval's trash. All right. Anything else on the summer houses? I'm in, though. I will watch, and we can talk about it next time.
It's good. I like it.
Let's close out giving our New York City opinions. Are you excited for the new season? It starts in July. We also have Orange County coming in like 2 weeks.
I thought it was next week.
Probably is. I don't even know what day it is right now. So
the way
you're probably
that,
right.
yeah, May ends
I think you're right.
3rd.
I think it is next week.
Yeah, I think it's like June 7th or something. I don't know why that's sticking out in my head. Because I remember hearing it and being like, oh shit, that's soon.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I don't know if I'm excited for it.
I'm not excited at all, but I'll watch it. But I'm not excited. The trailers have given me nothing.
There's a trailer? I didn't even know.
I think there is a full trailer. I don't think I've watched the full trailer, but I've seen whatever like the commercials are, and the commercials have not really given me much.
For me, the issue is I saw a TikTok of Kelly. Is that her name?
Ben Simone?
No. Yeah. She like dress I wore in Housewives in like 2009, and then like did a fake transition, like dress I wore in Housewives in 2022 or 2023. And it's like, I hate everything about you. You don't have a personality. You're just, I don't know. Maybe she's, and I don't say this in a negative way. I hope she is on the medications she needs to live a normal, stable life, because if there is someone who is exploited for their mental illness on a TV show, like
it's her.
Top 5 easily.
Maybe
even top 3. Like that woman went through it very publicly. And I hope that since she has left the show, she has been attended to by professionals.
I would love to one day do a deep dive on what a monster Bethany Frankel is, but I don't have the bandwidth.
She'll send you a cease and desist, though.
I would love if she did. That would be like the most exciting thing that's ever happened in my life. So to get a cease and desist from Bethany Frankel, I would hang it on my wall as a mark of my biggest accomplishment.
I saw a TikTok of someone who got one from her for saying negative things about her. So I'm not even joking when I say like you'd actually get one.
She is really something. I just think about how she treated Kelly, and I am not like a Kelly fan by any means, and the way she treated Jules, I'm just happy she's not coming back for Legacy. Like, we need to be done with Bethany Frankel as a society. Like, just go somewhere in peace. And leave us alone with your TikTok and your fucking makeup reviews. Your makeup looks like shit, Bethany. Okay? You don't, whatever. Yeah, I will watch the season. I don't even want to say cautiously optimistic. I'm curious about it, but I'm not excited about it. I have a feeling it's going to give me the same like Dubai vibes of it's just going to be like a little boring. It'll be fine. There'll be probably some standout characters. I think it might be overall a little bit boring. And it's just I am still confused at how we could have had Erica, Dorinda, Lisa Rinna, Kyle on Beverly Hills Housewives for how many seasons, and it's been a snooze fest. And same with Orange County. I mean, the last like 5 seasons of Orange County have been unwatchable. I mean, we watched them, but they've been unwatchable. And they did not take that show off the air and do a complete revamp. So why did they do it to New York? I want to know the reason for these decisions. Luann is an all-time housewife. Ramona, as much of a fucking monster she is, I think Ramona should be gone from the show. But she is an iconic housewife. Like, she's a monster. And she is one truly where I feel like she and Kelly Dodd are two where I feel like you can't ignore, you can't separate the art from the artist. You know what I mean? They are actually monsters. I just don't understand how Sonia, I mean, like, how are we firing all of these women who have given us so much content over the last decade, and they have like 1.5 bad seasons and they're just done? It's strange to me.
Yeah, I think the one place that like I'll hold out judgment is let me see the new season of New York, and then like let me decide, did they fuck up? Which I know is like reactionary, but I don't know. This channel has made a bunch of shows that I am now heavily invested in that I'll leave a benefit of the doubt, and then once, if we like get to this season of New York where it like, if it falls flat, then I'll have a lot of questions, and maybe I bet a lot of the internet will too, or at least like Bravo internet will, and we'll see what happens. But I don't know. Like,
it's just giving me that energy of Andy being like, remember last season of Orange County where he's like, it's true to, it's back to its form.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, this is the worst season of Orange County yet. It's been the most horrible one so far. So like, what are you talking about? It's just giving me that kind of like they're making people talk about it. They're saying stuff about it. Like, if they knew they had a hit on their hands, I don't think they'd be like as over the top with being like, are you excited for the new New York cast? And everyone's kind of like, oh.
You mean the same New York cast that's been on the show for the last 12 plus years?
Yeah. Well, there's the new, and then there's the
new
legacy.
One, yeah, I get what you're saying. No, I'll watch. That's like kind of where I stand with it. I'll watch.
I would like a short form documentary on what happened with Legacy and why it was its own show at first. Now it's going to be Ultimate Girls Trip. We had some Jill involved, and Ramona was not supposed to be on the show. And then I guess there were contract negotiations with Jill that went sour. So now Ramona's back involved. How did this all happen? Give me like a 15-minute deep dive. That's what I want. Someone.
Do you
break it all down for me?
Pay Jill Zarin to show up on a Housewives show? It seems like
I know it feels like she would do it for free. Just put some Zarin fabric stuff up on the walls behind her, and I feel like she would be there for free.
Like, how do you negotiate?
Oh, she was also at Teresa's wedding.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So I don't know how negotiations with her could go south, but
no, I don't know either.
I feel like there's not much to negotiate. Like, hey, show up.
Yeah, she's like chomping at the bit to get back on television. I don't know. It's strange. But I am excited for this Simple Life-esque show. What's it called? Crappy Lake? With Ramona and not Ramona. I'm sorry. With Sonia and Luann.
Yeah. I forgot about
the trailer made me laugh, and that's why I was like, why are we getting rid of these women on Housewives? Build the show around Luann and Sonia.
Yeah.
We have what we need.
Luann's kind of a problem too.
But yeah, Luann is definitely a problem. She's definitely a problem.
She's like, Peacock has been interesting to me because, like, for example, you can watch Vanderpump Rules with like Jax and Brittany, but like Jax got fired.
Yeah, you could if you want to, but why would you ever?
Yeah, I did not take that like choose your own adventure route.
Yeah, no, nor did I.
But like the people who are issues, they kind of like demote them to Peacock, and like that's their resolution, and not like completely cut ties, which I don't know, like, if you're still getting paid for
yeah, like, is it that much of a consequence to your actions?
Luann, Dorinda, like, you have people who
I'm not ready for more Dorinda after Girls Trip.
I mean, they even let Kristen Doty back on this episode, given it was first short segment, and yes, I understand that's like tying things together, but you also fired her too for problems, not because like you were done with her. So it's weird. that it's kind of like you're fired from Bravo, but we have a home for you here on Peacock.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll catch you as you fall.
You're getting demoted to AAA, but if
Yeah.
you have a good season, you might get promoted
Yeah,
back
you might
again
get
next
bumped
year.
back up. Yeah.
Speaking of being promoted, did you see that Miami is going to be on Bravo?
I did. I was actually going to say the same thing. Since we're talking about Peacock, who is no longer going to be only on Peacock will be Miami, which I'm excited for, but I also really like what Peacock has done so far. Like I feel like the production value behind the show on Peacock has been great. So I hope they keep that
it.
same vibe.
Yeah.
But good for them. I'm thrilled for them.
Yeah.
They deserve it.
Oh, definitely. It's been some of the best
2 really great
Housewives over the
seasons.
last couple of years for sure.
Yep. Definitely.
Something we didn't bring up. I know you're not up to date or like you haven't you said your blind spot, but we do have some below deck sailing yacht happening live. Right. Well, not live, but like
Yes.
last night was an episode.
I caught the last like 90 seconds of it because I put on the Summer House reunion and it was on.
Got it. Oh, so you saw
I saw
like
some
the beginning of
hookup
hookups.
mess. Yeah, I saw some
Yes.
hookup mess. And the other clip I did see was right before the season started. They were playing the end of the last season, and I saw the most disgusting looking grilled cheese being made in a panini maker that I've ever seen in my fucking life, and it scarred me. I don't know if you know the scene I'm talking about, but that like truly has scarred me away from grilled cheese for maybe the rest of my life. It was so disgusting.
I mean, that's not even like the right way to make a grilled cheese.
That was some of the most absolutely wretched, unhinged, drunk food making I've ever seen on TV. It was absolutely sick.
Well, this season there hasn't been any of that yet, but who knows?
Is that girl on this season?
I don't remember who did it. So the only woman who is back from last season is Daisy, who is the chief stew.
Okay.
She's been on 3 of the 4 seasons. I think this is her 3rd season.
Okay.
Maybe the 4th one. It's hard. I'm not good at remembering. Like once I watch it, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. But the event that a lot of people have been waiting to happen happened with like Colin and Daisy hooking up because
they made out on the stairs.
Yeah, and then Colin went to her bed.
Yeah.
And then Mads went back to Gary. So she had been hooking up with Gary, but then Colin and Chase Colin and Alex like barged.
That's what I saw. Like,
mid-sex, and
I just saw him saying that he had a boner killer.
That made me lose my boner. And then she went back. But there's like some interesting because like Daisy had like an intense makeout session with Gary last year, and like Gary will fuck literally anything with a heartbeat. But Colin's always been in relationships until this year, and he's like always behaved himself in relationships. Yeah. But like Colin to me is like this gem who's just kind of like, I don't want to say he's too good for like Bravo drama, but you need a Colin every once in a while.
Yeah,
who is reasonable, but also like he stirs the pot a little bit, but not enough where it's like you're being a dick. It's more he'll be like upfront with someone or like say something that might hurt the feelings of the person he's saying it to, but it's also honest. And this season there's been like boat issues. Like Colin's never been hotter.
I've seen some like clips of issues with the boat.
Yeah, people were saying like the issue in the first episode was like fake and staged, and Colin was like, "Trust me, I like this is the opposite of staged." But like, I've never there's no one that I've like seen on the internet who's like fuck Colin. People are like, "I want to fuck Colin," but not like fuck Colin. And so Daisy and Colin getting together is like, woo-hoo, like this is what people want. But then like Gary like kind of wants Daisy in a way where it's like he can't get Daisy, but he did like get Daisy kind of once, and it's weird. This might be like the end of a dynasty because those 3 have done all the last 3 seasons. And
because the first season was like with the chief stew that everybody fucking hated and Chef Adam, right?
Oh, yeah, and they were
And
together.
so I watched a
Yeah.
few episodes of that, and like that I couldn't do. So that put me off sailing because I know that season was not good, but I need to get back in, I think, with this new
No,
crew.
yeah. Um, 2, 3,
Newish
and
crew.
4 have this, like, this core unit of Daisy, the chief stew, Colin, the engineer,
Yeah.
Gary, the bosun, and, Glenn. Yeah. Um,
How do
and
we
then,
feel
like,
about Glenn? Where do you rank him out of your in your captain ranking?
oh gosh. This is I feel like Captain Lee has to be the number 1. He's the
Yeah, I mean, there's
OG,
no
he's
question about it.
hilarious. Yeah. Did you see that he might be doing, like, a version of Galley Talk with, he has, like, projects. I was just reading it. I'm so glad I got
No.
to drop this on you.
Oh, we need something because the fact that he's not coming back is like
Yeah.
heart-wrenching to me. I feel like just cancel the show.
He said that he
But
has,
like don't.
2 or 3 projects in the works with Bravo, and
Great.
someone's like, "Oh, is one of them gonna be with Kate?" And he's like, "Oh, you never know," like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So,
Hmm.
there might
Love
be some
that.
Kate and Captain Lee,
My
like,
favorite
galley talk
duo.
type of stuff. Yeah. Um, so Captain Lee is probably number 1. Glenn's probably 2. Uh, it's hard because I don't wanna rank Sandy last simply because, like, I want to support women, but
Yeah, I love supporting women. Sandy is just not a woman that I support.
there's components of her that I really, really like. I just know I would not like to work for a Sandy. And so
No.
that's kind of like the not the perspective, because I don't know if I would like to work for a Captain Lee either, to be
Oh, I think
honest.
I would love to work for a Captain Lee.
I think I could. I mean, I know I have a really good work ethic, so I wouldn't worry about that.
Right. That's why
And
I feel
like,
like I'm self-sufficient enough where I could like be fine
yeah,
with
I'd
Captain
be
Lee. But if
fine.
Sandy was up my fucking ass,
Yeah.
knowing that I am honestly, I take a lot of pride in the work that I do at any job that I'm in, and that would piss me off.
Yeah.
Because like if there's one thing that gets under her skin, then it's like the end for you. And I think she's actually a little bit of a monster.
Yeah. I like that she likes supporting women being in roles where they normally are not. Like, I like that she really empowers women being on the deck.
Yeah,
As
that's all she
someone
cares
who was
about.
like, yeah, I was I didn't have any female high school math teacher
Yeah.
coworkers for my first 7 years of teaching. Like,
Oh wow.
every single one of my math colleagues were men. And so
Oh wow. That's
being in
wild.
a field like that, it's like I teachers are predominantly women, so to be in like a male dominated area, I like get
Yeah.
that, but there's like you said, the micromanaging, so I have to put her last. And then we've only seen 1 season of Kari, who is
He's
the
the
one
bald
from
one?
Adventure,
Okay.
which I need to oh, I did watch that season, but I'm not gonna lie, I slept through a lot of it, and I did not enjoy most of people. So, like, I might have to go and rewatch that. But I
I
heard
hate the
he's
commercial song. There was like a song in the commercial for Below Deck Adventure that turned me off of the show forever.
it just they didn't have, like, good I feel like you need to have at least a bosun or a chief stew to root for, and
Yes.
there was neither in that season.
Yeah.
Um, but I did like him as a captain, but I think I like no, I would okay, it's gonna go Captain Lee, Glenn, Carrie, not because we share a name, um, Jason from Down Under.
Jason's the attractive man?
Yeah, except his
Okay.
teeth. No
Yeah.
offense to Jason's
No, good
teeth,
for him.
but,
Good for him
uh
keeping your teeth. I have bad
and
teeth, so I appreciate that.
no, your teeth are fine in comparison to Jason's. Um,
Thank you.
you're welcome. And then Sandy. I know that there was, like, a one-off with the first season of Med. I can't remember his name, but he's RIP, he's dead. So,
Wait,
um,
literally?
yeah. Lavelle looked it up.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the first season of Med.
Oh, that's right. There was a guy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that guy's dead?
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's really sad. I actually,
So,
I mean, I'm upset about it, even though I forgot that he even existed.
he would have been below Sandy for me because he was like a boy's boy. He like
Yes, he was. I
very
remember
much
with Bobby or
coddled
whatever his name
his
was, right?
his bosun, and was
Yeah.
like believed everything he said when that guy was a misogynistic twat.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, that would be my rankings.
Was
Kari
it
is taking
Bobby
over
with the
for B.
tattoos that was on the first season of Med? That was like
Oh,
shitty? Or was that season
and
2?
he came back for no, he was on 2 seasons. But
Yes.
that's not the guy that he wasn't like the lead deckhand or bosun that season. That
Oh,
like
okay.
it was
It's been so long.
like a country, and I don't want to say country, but like a southern white boy, maybe not
Mm,
southern, maybe like midwestern white boy who
mm,
like just as the second he had a drink, he just was
mm.
incredibly
I
misogynistic,
have
which
to go
then
back
carried
and do a
over
rewatch.
to being sober and misogynistic. Um, yeah, I didn't like him.
I
But
was going to say that Bobby with the tattoos is very good friends with Memphis Garrett from Big Brother, which is really fucking weird. Who's married to Christmas, who hit someone with her car on purpose. So,
oh,
yeah.
yeah, Bobby sells yachts now, I think. He's a yacht
Oh,
realtor.
well, good
Because I
for
remember
you.
looking that up being like, do they let this guy come back for a second season? And they did. I'm like, why? And then
Yeah.
because
He's
as
on
I
Galley
told
Talk as well
yeah,
with
I've seen him on
Colin.
like
Yeah.
again, why? Like I don't
Right.
ever want to hear from that man ever again.
Right. It's a great question.
Um, I've told you that Lavelle, my partner, hates reality TV. However, like Below Deck has been something that he can like stomach, but he
Hmm.
also takes it like so personally, and he like goes on these rants about things. Like I don't know if you
That's how you know he's really into it.
I well, he does this with he's just like an idea man, a thinker.
Okay.
Do you remember so Hannah was Mediterranean, and
Hmm.
she was with, like, the dude that was a lot younger than her, and
Yep.
he and she was like or she made a comment like, "You don't make enough money for me," or something like
Hmm.
that, and, like, Lavelle went on, like, a 10-minute tirade of, like, "If you ever spoke to me that" I'm like,
Oh my God.
"Can we,
Why,
like,
why
calm
are
down?"
you getting heat for
Like
it?
like, it's almost been 3 years, I haven't
You're
made
like,
a
I didn't
comment
do
about
it. I
your
didn't do
money,
anything.
like, can we calm down? Um, but it was Bobby who he was like, "I'm finding this man on Twitter. I'm saying shit to him. What a douche." And I'm like, this is from like 8 or 9 years
Oh my
ago, like,
God.
that he's like, "No, I'm finding this man on
That's
Twitter."
kind of amazing. Did he?
No, he's only on Instagram.
Oh,
So,
I would have
he
loved
did
to
make
have seen Lavelle's tweets.
he just, like, was like, "Are" he's like, "How do I even find these people? Like, how do you find them on Twitter right now?" Like, I'm not gonna encourage this. We're not gonna
Yeah,
chase
no.
people for a TV show from 8
No.
years ago. Although literally yesterday I did say that if I ever saw the chef from, Down Under, we would fist fight on site because,
Okay.
he was a douche. Do you know Aisha?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's chief stew on Down Under, and
Yes.
while her voice, like, her tone can sometimes be a little grating, I think she's very good at her job, and
Yeah, I
she's,
like
like,
her.
quirky and fun, and this guy was so awful to her that I'm like, I would just have to fight him if I ever saw him. It's just
Oh.
what it would come down to. But I didn't, like,
Hmm.
tag him or anything, I just said.
No.
If
Yeah.
if you're still looking up yourself at this point, that's a you
Yeah, then you
problem.
deserve it.
Chef Adam or whatever your name was. I don't
You
think it was
deserve
Adam.
to
It was
catch the
Ryan.
strays. Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan. So, yeah, this season isn't getting as much of, like, a positive consensus as prior seasons have. People are, like, down on Glenn for whatever reason.
Oh,
I don't know. At
interesting.
least, like, by people, I mean Reddit, but
Mm.
it's fine. Like, there is something, though, that I am watching this season episode by episode, and binging Below Deck is just such a better watch.
I agree. Uh, I agree. I
It's
agree. I
such
do.
an
I've
easy
done both,
show to
and
have on,
it's a great show to just throw on
like, on a
wherever.
Saturday, and you're,
Yep.
like, doing shit, and, like, you can leave for 20 minutes and come back, and it's like, I still know what's happening here.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's also a great show to binge on a plane, like we said. It's just a
Mhm.
great show to do, yeah, it's a good like background show that you don't need to pay very close attention to, but it will suck you in for sure.
I also think part of the issue with, like, the week by week format is these charters are, like, 2 to 3 days, so when
Yeah.
you are like taking a 2 to 3 day charter and sometimes spreading it over like 21 calendar days, if it's like
Yeah.
3 episodes, it loses the continuity that it has when you're binging it.
Yes, and I also feel like Below Deck falls victim to some weird editing of like next time on Below Deck, it's like, oh, Captain Sandy's gonna hit this boat and they're gonna capsize, and then it's just like, just kidding, nailed it. And it's like every time there's almost an issue of like, you're gonna hit the boat. It's like, actually, nope, everything's fine. And I'm just like, all right, how many times are we gonna do this in the preview for the next week when we know everything's gonna be fine? The only time that it was almost not fine was when Ashton almost died, which was crazy. Crazy. But okay, I'll catch up. I'll binge some. I have a lot of homework.
I think part of people's issues with this season is we've known from the beginning that Colin and Daisy are going to hook up, and it's like, why did you tell us so early, like before everything? Like that's something that you had that in your pocket and you could have, where like it isn't something we know due to social media. So
something that I think I need Bravo to stop doing is giving us so much information before, like
a trailer.
Yeah, like they release like the first 7 minutes of episodes and then they're like, here's another sneak peek at this. And I'm like, I feel like I've caught pretty much everything meaty that's going to happen in every Vanderpump Rules episode before I watched the show, because they just released it all on social media. And like, I just don't know why we're doing that. Same with Housewives. I feel like they just release these, like, I don't know. You could let us want it a little more. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that. I don't follow the only social media I follow that like gets insight before it goes like it airs is what that Queens of Bravo Twitter account.
And I think they do a lot of reposting of like the stuff that Bravo posts like on the website as an advanced clip or whatever. They do a lot of like, that's where I see most of it too, I think.
Yeah. I know there's been a few times where like they let us see like whatever. And but I think that that account does a really good job of not ruining things. I really totally agree. That account. But yeah, otherwise I don't really see much of things. But again, like I've been doing so much catching up that like I'm now in the live environment for like that's true. These series that maybe this will now affect me more. And like I'm seeing that with like Below Deck, for example. Like I love when it's like, oh, hell yeah, like my day is done. I can go throw a couple episodes on before I go to bed. And I'm like not as excited for the episode like dropping on a Tuesday where it's like I would have rather just watched all of them back to back. But maybe I just need to adjust. I've been spoiled because I've spent so much time watching all these Below Deck episodes over the last few months that
I know it's hard to wean yourself off.
Well, that's what's nice is like now I have Summer House that I can throw on, but I feel like I have to pay more attention to Summer House. I just need to like learn who people are. That's all.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the people from season 1 are like not that relevant. So
good to know.
They'll come and go.
Okay.
All right. Well, this was a jam-packed 2 hours. This was great. This is a good catch up. We needed it. Is there anything else Bravo related that you would like to cover on Pod What Happens Live, our first episode?
No, I don't think so.
All right. We covered it all. In that case, Kari, where can the people find you these days?
Nowhere.
What are you up to?
Fucking writing papers. You can find me talking to Chat GPT.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not tweeting a ton, mostly because I just don't have a lot to say. But you are more than welcome to follow me at KGD26. If you follow my Instagram, I post regular stories of my dog.
Yes, I can confirm.
Yeah, and shout out to Valencia, who always throws hearts at my stories of my dog because
we love Valencia.
Yes. Yeah, otherwise I haven't been podcasting. Obviously, this is like return number 2 in the last like 6 months, but I will be back as close to weekly as possible. Otherwise, find me at Taylor Swift this Sunday in Chicago.
Yeah, maybe we should give a quick PSA that we are back, but you have a packed week coming up, so next week is like a maybe.
Yeah, well, I can probably go like later in the week. So I don't know what day of the week it is right now. I think it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. So yeah, there's people in town for Taylor Swift, so I'll be entertaining this weekend. But I will since I'm like caught up, it's not hard to stay caught up at this point. So
Right.
maybe
It's
we
true.
should go like, let's just do our scheduling right now. Maybe we should do like the day after the Vanderpump Rules.
I'm in.
That Thursday.
Perfect.
'Cause then
All
we
right.
can
You heard it here
talk about
first.
that. We'll be back next Thursday. So it's a
We
week
said it
and 2 days.
publicly.
Yeah, I can commit to
Perfect.
that.
Okay, great. We'll have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Great.
The carrot will have been eaten at that point. This horse will not be trotting anymore.
That's true. We'll have 2 Vanderpump
Yeah.
episodes.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay, great. Perfect. All right. Well, look for us then. In the meantime, if you want to find me, you can find me on Twitter at RealSlimKatie. You can also find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/RealSlimKatie with an underscore. I've been off for like the last 2 weeks on Twitch, but I will be back a little bit more regularly this week and definitely way more regularly next week. Yeah, I'm also not tweeting that much just because Twitter kind of sucks now, if I'm being honest, but there hasn't been a good replacement yet. So I'm keeping it.
I hate that when someone has a tweet and you like go to the replies, it's now like people who have bought Twitter Blue or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, like on the top.
Yeah, versus like the most liked responses, which were usually the funniest part of Twitter.
The whole thing is a mess. Everything is a mess. My
Yeah.
timeline's a mess. Nothing's in chronological order. The For You page makes no sense. It's just a mess. It's a terrible experience. The website barely works, but I'm hanging on just because there's nothing else. Blue Sky, invite me, please, so I can get over there and
What's that?
move away. It's like the new Twitter that Jack, who made Twitter, is making, and it looks just
Then
like Twitter.
Why the fuck did he sell it?
Dude.
I mean,
I don't
given
fucking
he's
know.
rich AF and like, I guess that's what like entrepreneurs do, but at the same time,
Yeah,
blow me. We're stuck over here on Elon Island.
exactly. And I don't want to be on Elon Island.
I don't know how I got here.
I didn't sign up for this.
No consent given in this situation.
My canoe just wandered over here and I've capsized and I'm stuck now on this island and it's horrible.
Speaking of Elon, I've meant to tweet this, so I'm just going to say it out loud to you. Did anybody tell him that like the Tesla icon or not icon logo looks like an IUD? Like,
I've never thought about it before.
A Tesla
you're right, it does.
And I was like, that kind of looks like ovaries. And I'm like, wait a second, it's more like an IUD than anything.
Yeah, it does. You're right.
Imagine someone like Elon wanting that for his brand, but
no, I doubt Elon
no one told
believes in
him.
birth control. Doesn't he have like 100 kids? Isn't he like he's like trying to repopulate the earth?
I don't know. One of his kids, I think, is trans. So, and he is.
Oh,
Elon. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw that. So, power to Elon.
Oh, interesting.
Trans child. I hope you are in a safe and healthy environment.
I hope so too. And I hope you're not an asshole. Like Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh. I can't. I can't.
Yeah. But shout out to Elon's trans child. I hope you're well. I hope you hate your dad like we do. And
I think
I'm rooting for you.
I think they like filed for some sort of like, I don't want to say like separation. Sounds marriage.
Like
I don't know, but
or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, great. Then we love Elon.
I'm pretty positive we're pro Elon's trans kid.
Okay, great.
If that's even real. I mean, I saw it on Twitter, so like who fucking knows?
Who knows?
It's the Wild West out there.
It really is. Other than that, you can check out what Silent Podcast is doing, aside from what Kari and I are doing. With this beautiful new graphic, newish graphic. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at silent_podcast. You can find us on TikTok and Twitch at Silent Podcasts. You can find us pretty much everywhere that you listen to your podcasts by searching Silent Podcasts or on YouTube. Check us out. Most of our stuff is streamed live these days, so we love when you engage with us and chat with us in the chat. Like and comment and subscribe and leave us a review, but please only leave us a review if it's 5 stars. I mean, we're still going 2 hours and 13 minutes of content. That's got to be 5 stars. You got to find something that's worth 5 stars in this 2 hours and 13 minutes. Otherwise, we should just hang it up. If you don't have something to rate us on, then just don't do it until next time. But
are we?
Oh my God!
On
why
Instagram?
Why is this background
I don't know.
Okay, I don't know. That is weird. None of us know what that's about. I don't know. I can tell you.
This is what I just looked up. And oh shit, there we go. So okay.
All right, cool. Well,
Maybe
follow
I'll
us
follow
for
us
our
on
first
Instagram.
post ever. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe
Whenever
we'll
that
go
happens.
live tonight. Who knows?
Yeah. All right. I guess we'll end it here. Thank you guys so much for being here. We're excited to be back. We're excited to be rebranded. Apologies in advance to Andy Cohen if you're upset.
I'm not sorry.
We'll figure it out. If yeah, let the little guy have something, okay?
Yeah.
And we'll catch you next time. Bye everybody. Have a great
Bye.
night and enjoy Bravo and us.